to the 8th episode of Speed Seasons 3. My name is Amber Cyprin and I am your host for this. I'm joined by Alpha 5, our organizer, and our special guest commentator for this weekend of races that we have coming up for you, Shrambles. But first, we have a few announcements. Just so you all know, SGDQ 2021 online is July 4th to the 11th. Be sure to check out gamesdonequick.com for more information. Prize submissions are now open. And if you are watching this on YouTube, hi, we'd love to have you support our live content. So consider checking us out over on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/GDQ. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can subscribe to any Twitch channel of your choice every month for free. So please consider using your Prime Gaming account to subscribe to the GDQ Twitch channel. So, that said, we're finally at the top 8. How's it feel, Alpha?
It feels good knowing that I had 8 people who played all the games and raced it to the end, so I didn't have to figure out what I was gonna do. But yeah, it's a good feeling. We're at the end. Everybody, from the feedback I've seen from at least the top 8 competitors, had good things to say about the event. They liked a lot of the games. No game really stood out as a favorite in terms of everybody really liking it. So I'm excited to see what people are going to be playing today, because the format is going to have a lot of guessing as to what these races are going to be running today.
Oh, yeah. And in fact, one of our racers who didn't quite make it into top 8, if anyone caught the Pilot Wings race 2 weeks ago on Sunday, Shrambles just barely missing getting into the top 8, but was very, very awesome enough to join us as our extra commentator today, who has words about various entries in the league that we had up to this point. How are you doing, Shrambles?
I'm doing well. It's going to be really interesting to see how the top 8 competitors basically pick and choose which games they do and don't want to play against their opponents. And much like the previous game reveals, each competitor had 2 weeks essentially to prepare, essentially to pick and choose how they want to go against their opponent, knowing their strengths and weaknesses versus their own strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly. And actually, this format is, instead of being an open league where everyone and, everyone who was anyone who wanted to join in could, we're actually at the closed portion of the competition. Alpha, do you want to explain the format of what we're going to see today and tomorrow as well?
Yeah, so the way this works is we're in the top 8. These people had the most points over the season. The lowest score was dropped. That's good. Basically, how it's going to work is I made a bracket. Bracket is basically in order: first place plays 8th seed, et cetera, et cetera. Single elimination, but there is a bronze match. So we have an even number of matches, which makes it very convenient for broadcasting. So the way it works is we have basically the runners are going to ban games. High seed bans first game, low seed bans second game, high seed bans third, low seed bans fourth, and then of the remaining 3 games, the high seed will then pick the first game that they are going to race. After that race is concluded, the loser of that race picks the next game. And then if you need it, that last game is just sitting there waiting to be played. So the runners are going to basically be choosing what games they're going to do the entire time. Are you banning out your opponent's comfort even if it's your own because you can't shave that last 2 minutes that they have, or are you just going to ban games you don't want to play? There's going to be a lot of strategy involved in what they do. If I were to call back to season 2, the main strategy is everybody wanted to play Wipeout or Ninja 5-0, so everybody just didn't ban it even if they were going to lose the race. So in this, and I've collected a bunch of responses from a lot of the runners, I can maybe guess about 3 games people will be banning, for sure. But I'll go over those later. But that's basically the format. And actually, I'll bring up, because we do have Pop-Tart Cat on their first race. And I asked for some feedback of the event. And one of the things they said was it was a good length of time, 2 weeks, because they had 2 weeks to learn every game, and then this additional 2 weeks was a good length of time to learn the basics of each run, but forced a decision between practicing the faster, riskier strategies versus what would be the more consistent things to do. And it's going to be very curious to see if, because some of these racers did a bunch of really risky stuff to get their great time in that game, if they're going to be comfortable even playing it, even if they had a better time in the regular season because they were not consistent and they just checked every box that day and got lucky, then they don't feel confident. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So now that we know how this works, we're actually going to move into our runner bans. So like as we prompt our two racers, our first match today is Pika Pals versus Pop Tart Cat. And they are going to be going into picking their bands. And there's 7 games. Those games are Super Mario Brothers 2, Doom, Link's Awakening, not Director's Cut, DX, Katamari, I believe, was Game 4.
Yeah.
Game 5 was Sky Blazers. Game 6 was Crash Team Racing. And Game 7 was Pilot Wings. So of those 7 games, we're going to be banning 4 between the runners.
Yeah, there's... you cut out for me, so I didn't quite hear what you were saying.
Now that's okay. It looks like my internet wanted to blip for a second. But no, our... if anyone missed what the 7 games was, it was Super Mario Brothers 2, Doom, Link's Awakening, DX, Katamari, the first Katamari, Sky Blazers, Crash Team Racing, and Pilot Wings. Yeah. There we go.
And if you want to check out how everybody did over the course of the event and just, other information, including the prizes that are being given out, this weekend is all for prizes that are being supplied by me. That's all on speedseasons.com. You can check that out. You can support the prize pool by donating, or I guess contributing to that. And that goes towards me paying these players, basically, to enhance our current already existing prize pool.
Stage.
But we are getting close to picking bands here, as we're going to start seeing Pika Pals. I believe we're starting pick band now.
Yep. So we've prompted Pika Pals, who is the top seed in this match, to select their first band game. And I totally didn't type stage. All right, they have selected to ban Doom. So that means that this Doom will not be seen in this race. So we're going to have Pop-Tart Cat be able to select theirs. Pop-Tart ban, Pop-Tart ban, yep. Pop-Tart ban has catted Link's Awakening. That's what I'm going with. All right, so Pop-Tart Cat now picks the second ban, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I believe no, it's back to Pika Pals. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did I say Pop-Tart Cat?
Yes.
We've got 2 P words.
Yeah. So yeah, Pika Pals banning now, and let me go back to clicking on this thing right here, and we see Pika Pals banning Pilot Wings. That is not terribly too much of a surprise. And SMB2 being banned by Pop-Tart Cat. That was Shrambles was thinking that that would be the ban because Pika Pals had a much better time than Pop-Tart Cat, and even though that leaves actually, so that's going to leave Sky Blazer up, which Pika Pals crushed, but I have Pop-Tart Cat knows that was Pop-Tart Cat's favorite game of the entire event, so not actually that surprised to see that one go through, even if maybe they weren't super comfortable. And that means that our games are going to be Katamari, Sky Blazers, and CTR.
All right, and Pika Pal should be the one selecting the first race, right?
Yes. And let's see where we are going. I wonder if it's going to start off with big old Skyblazer. I'd be hyped for that. What do you want to be picked first, Trambles?
I'm assuming we're gonna see Skyblazers first, just because it's Pika Pal's strongest game. I don't think Pop Tart Cat will be upset playing Skyblazers first, just because just going off of the initial race that we had, there's only about a 2.5 minute difference between their times, despite like Pika Pal's just absolutely demolishing it. Pop Tart did a very good job as well,
Oh.
but who cares what I'm saying? Pika Pals did make his choice.
I can't believe
it's
we're
not
leading with
Skyblazer.
this first. We are leading. We are leading with Katamari Damacy. Oh boy, this is exciting.
I mean, I had on my little sheet that I assumed would be the order. I had Katamari being the third game.
Same, that's what I was thinking. And then, nope, Pika Pal's just like yeeted that out the window. And it's like, nope,
Honestly,
we're going Katamari first.
I think the third game might just end up being CTR. Unless I feel if Pika Pals loses this race, he might go to CTR second, depending on how much time he put into it, on the basis that there's a chance that he's like, well, Pop Tart Cat had a really good time in Skyblazers. They may have just gone super hard on Skyblazer if they were confident keeping it up. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
All right. So, Katamari is actually the one race that I did not see live. I did not host that episode. That was our wonderful Dark Man, who was our expert runner for Pilot Wings, who hosted in my place because I did have to be out for that day. So I'm actually really interested to finally see a live Katamari race.
It'll be good. I'm excited to watch it too, because I only have to pay attention to 2 screens instead of 16 this time. So, Shrembles, what were your thoughts on the Katamari race?
I think, especially like revisiting it, a lot of it is going to come down to like how efficiently routed their route is, because as you built the schedule, this game is pretty much all skill. There's no real glitches. There's no real skips. It's just get ball big. Get ball big fast is pretty much the name of this race. And going off of just the tutorial and how everyone learned it, it's gonna come down to how comfortable they are with their boost mechanic, and just knowing the specific sizes for when they can pick up certain things. And that's just going to be key to seeing how well they can remember the previous race they did. Because going off of their race times, they're only, again, about 2.5 minutes apart. So easily can fluctuate based off of just how much practice they put into it. And seeing as how Pika Pals chose it as game one, I'm assuming Pika Pals probably put some more time into Katamari.
Very possible there.
So we're just getting our runners set up real quick. To knowing that the nature of this this competition means that we're going to be switching games a lot, so they are just getting their Katamari all set up and ready to go. That way we can get the race going in just a couple minutes. So please sit tight. That said, who do you all think is going to manage to win the race here? There's Pika Pals, who was our top seed, and Pop Tart Cat was what was Pop Tart Cat's Okay, so they are the 8th seed.
Yeah,
Okay.
but if I go and I look and I just go and I check out what our times for this game was, Pop-Tart Cat was only about 2.5 minutes behind, and in Katamari, that's nothing. So this really could go any way, and it's going to be exciting. This is definitely going to be one of the longer games for sure.
It's definitely going to come down to, I honestly think it will come down to that last level. Just making the moon is going to just getting the right just stuff to make your ball bigger in the ocean area is going to come down. It's just going to come down to that, because you can save so much time in that purely by routing.
Oh yeah, like I didn't know I didn't see the tutorial either for Katamari. Like that was a week for me, we'll say. But Katamari in general is probably the most interesting game to be picking to race at all. Largely because it was smack dab in the middle of the competition. So it's not like it's SMB2 where everyone's very far removed from it. But it's certainly not a recent game like CTR or Pilot Wings. So seeing how much they've retained over the 8 weeks or so that they've had since racing Katamari is it's going to be interesting.
I think of all the games, I think it's probably the easiest one to actually jump back into, mostly because you don't have to worry about doing a lot of like frame specific tricks.
Oh yeah, like I remember that.
It's mostly just about just like, this is where I go to get the things I need, and it's as simple as that. And then just doing it fast.
Yeah, doing it fast is what's going to be really, really difficult, honestly.
And there are cycles to watch out for. So like, if you're not fast enough, you might end up on a slower cycle based off of like NPC walk paths that can just knock your ball crazy.
So like, what was your experience running this Shambles?
So I actually had a lot of trouble consistently getting the boost mechanic to work. So I actually opted to kind of start looking at the no boost route, just to kind of get myself more comfortable. Just like, okay, if I can just do it without having to boost, and then as I get more comfortable with the boost mechanic, I can slowly incorporate that throughout my quote unquote no boost practicing. And that's kind of just the base I took for learning this game. So slowly like developing more speed strats as I got more comfortable with my routing.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Because like compared to the other games, this is a game that just like, there are 10 levels. I think it's 10 levels. I'm not including Bear. That's your water break. But 10 levels. So there's not like specific tricks because we'll probably see Sky Blazer. Sky Blazer has like all of those specific just setups and tricks that you just have to kind of break into your brain.
Exactly.
But for Katamari, it's just get comfortable knowing the levels. Get comfortable knowing the cycles that the NPCs are on. Get comfortable knowing when certain things are going to be in certain areas, so you know you can pick them up. And this also adapting to when your ball hits the size. And we have started.
Yes, we have started the match.
And so the first level, pretty comfortable. They're just going to boost to collect these cookie sandwiches, collect a few nail polish removers, and then I wonder, are they both? Yeah, they're both running the English version. So fun fact is we learned in the race, the Japanese version does allow you to skip the cutscene after getting enough stuff.
Yeah, so my only experience with this game is the reroll remaster, actually, where I've heard the physics are ever so slightly different. This is the original PS2 release, which I'm going to go ahead and give us our proper release here, as they go into the next level.
Yeah, so this is just kind of like just getting through the first few levels. We'll probably see them pretty much synced up. I don't think we're going to see much of a divergence between their routes. I do believe in level 4, though, we will see one of the only few tricks, I guess, in the run, which is just basically getting a bounce to get up on something. That might change the flow of how this race is going. Yeah, Pika-Pal's just in a slight lead, but I wouldn't even consider it a lead at this point because they're essentially tied.
For the folks at home who are watching as well, I just want to very casually slip in that you should play this game. Definitely play this game. Whether it's the PS2 version or the reroll version, I think you should definitely pick this game and a game up and play it. And if this race inspires you to pick up a speed run of it, you should do that too. But very deliberately, like, you have to be aware of your sizes and your thresholds going through each level, because that affects your routing. Like it's already been stated.
Yeah, so Pika-Pals is actually taking a few bounces off of these, I believe they're tangerines, but just like not, like those are the cycles that I was warning about. Like, if you're not paying attention to what's around you, you may run into things. But even so, it seems like Pika-Pals did take a little bit of a lead. I'm not quite sure what happened to Pop-Tart Cat, but they are at least 10 seconds behind now.
I think they missed some important size. They're both taking it looks like Pop-Tart Cat's actually taking the more aggressive route, if I remember Suncare correctly, going left and around a little bit. Oh no, wait, that's the slower one. But it could just be how aggressive the routing they want to take is.
Yeah, and for like the win conditions for all of these stars, you don't actually have to wait until the time goes out. You just have to get basically the minimum requirement in order to make the star. Yes, the King of the Cosmos will be making fun of you, but you still did it.
Yeah, it would be all, this could be much, much bigger. But we don't need that. We just need stars in the sky.
Yeah, Pika-Pal's with a comfortable 10-second lead, I would say.
He's not getting too great butterfly RNG. He only got 1 or 2. You can just get all the butterflies and really speed up if you get super duper lucky.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing like where they take their boost versus where I took my boost in the race that we did, whatever, like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it's been this has been a long event run. It's very, very long amount of time. Almost, what is it? We had 3 weeks for the first game, 2 weeks for everything after that. So this is what, week 19 of 20 overall?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and as I was mentioning, this is a game that I think is probably the easiest to jump back into. Mostly because it's not as technically difficult compared to some of the other games in the season.
Yeah,
but you can.
Oh, go ahead.
But you can see like some of like the trepidation in like you could have seen a boost there. but they chose to just continuously just roll as opposed to boost. And that just might just be a cautious thing. They don't want to accidentally like lose their track, because it is very hard to maintain the boost, especially when you're trying to like extend it with flicking the control sticks back up and down.
Yeah, and we'll be seeing a lot more of that on Megastar 4. Because there's some good extendable boost spots there. But I was going to say, in terms of games maybe that are easiest to just play again after a while, I would, you would probably think it would be CTR, but that game has a suspiciously large amount of tech for how simple it ends up, like, appearing or looking. But Megastar 4, I want to see if we see any stage resets. We saw a lot of them during the regular season race.
Yeah, this is going to be the first break point, I would say, because if they can get that boost jump, if they even go for it, because you don't need to do it.
Yeah, now, if you're thinking that, oh, this jump is easy and free, I do it all the time on the reroll version, the physics are different, and okay, doesn't get a great bounce, but doesn't end up stuck. You can be in a very bad way after that jump, so that's good. As Pika Pals is picking up these watermelons, looking for a certain size that I do not remember. But
I believe it's 22.
Well, had it.
So yeah, you need 22 to pick up the flowers, and then it's like, oh, it takes a really bad boost off of the.
Oh yeah, that. I wonder. I feel like going over here in this way was intentional, because there's some size you normally get by going over straight. So may have just come up with a different route because they didn't like that boost.
I think it's Katamari's one of those games where it's just like, if you go off path, just knowing where certain things are, you can adapt as opposed to just going back to what you had. You're going to lose time, but you're not going to lose as much time.
Yeah, of all the games I put in, this is definitely the speed run that is just play the video game but fast. Because the more you know and the more you like feel the game, although I say that, but that's also feeling is kind of how you play Pilot Wings too, but is definitely how you can make all of your backups.
And I think that's going to be the key for all of these races, is just like, how comfortable are the racers with backup strats?
Yeah, I think Pika Pal's backup strat right there, because he went past that 50 at like 60, and it's pretty big for that. So grabbing a lot of extra size there. But
and with that completes Megastar 4. Well, Pop-Tart Cat is a little bit further behind now.
yeah, the lead has just slowly been building, but isn't really that far behind in the grand scheme of things. I would say maybe about a minute. That really can change very quickly.
The last three make us like the last three levels can easily change who's ever in the lead.
Yeah, because it's funny to think that the first 5 or 6 levels are half the run, and then the last 3 are the end.
Yeah, it's something like the first 2/3 of this game is 20 minutes, and then the last third of the game is another 30.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. As I'm seeing Pop-Tart Cat do a little bit less boost. There is a boostless category in this game, and is not quite the size they want to be. They are so very close. Finds an item.
I honestly, boostless is a great way to actually just start learning this game.
Oh, that bird is... Oh, I was a little worried about that bird on Pika Pals. That was a little bit further to the left. That could have made for some very awkward ball movement.
Yeah, but getting the milk cans, just getting enough to, I don't think they can get those dogs, but enough to get the bananas, and then are they going to boost through? Guess not, because they'll pick up the soy sauce.
Yeah, but boosting here, because you don't need as much size, but you do need that the soy sauce.
Because then you're big enough to pick up the plates. And then the size we're looking for, I believe, is 45. Well, they need to be at least 40 in order to pick up some of the boxes that they'll get next. Or 42 or 43, something around those lines. It's been a while. Like, remembering all of these specific numbers is very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, even Sunker, who has played this game for forever and has done it, doesn't even remember the sizes when he was doing his tutorial. he had the Katamari size guru in the chat and basically knows everything. Was giving him hints so we could say the exact numbers.
Yeah, because at a certain point, you just get a feel for what size you need to be.
Yeah, you're just like, I know I'm big enough because I feel it. 'Cause you can feel everything that gets added to the Katamari, which I like. Gives a whole new different meaning to the word feeling your game.
Yeah, because it does change how the ball rolls. Like, because you can see, like, I think we'll see later on, like, they will pick up a pole at one point to allow them to basically just gup on a, I don't know what words I'm saying, jump on a ledge. There's no chi in any of those words.
Did someone call for someone who is terrible with words?
Oh boy.
This is the first game. We got a lot more to go.
Don't worry, I can't words either.
Yeah, finishing up with the bike. Pika Pals is done with 5. Well, Pop-Tart is just entering the city.
Not quite skipping that cutscene. Oh, I guess they're both playing on the US version, which is good. There is a just random 40-second time save, and I say it's random because you can just skip one extra cutscene in the Japanese version that you can't in the US version. And that's the time save. Which is good, because that would feel bad if they were a minute apart and one of them was running on the other version. But I think for the race, only 2 people did, in fact, run on J, so that's fine. I really like Megastar 6 because you're just going in circles a lot. Absolutely a very fun level.
Yeah, because I think this is our first introduction to this area in the game. And we will see a lot more of it. Oh, but the clown ball.
I've got to say, I'm a big fan of all the silly items in this whole game.
It's a very charming game.
Absolutely.
And just very fun to play. Speedrun or casually.
Yeah. You know, as Sunker would recommend, go join the Discord, go pick up Reroll. There's a ton of very cool learning things, or it's just if you haven't played it, just play Reroll. There's probably a Steam sale soon that you can get it. Or, you know, play it on the Switch and absolutely destroy your Joy-Cons if you want. That's what I did.
My Joy-Cons did not appreciate me playing Katamari on it either.
It wasn't even the game that wrecked my Joy-Cons, though. Or maybe it just put it at the point where they were going to fail later.
Now, Pika Pal's in the city. I don't think this is the mission that has, like, the evil swan boat that swims around, that drives around, or is that the next one? Is that 7?
That's the next one, because you're out of there very quickly.
Speaking of getting out of there very quickly, we have the bear mission next.
Are we gonna see World Record Bear?
I hope we see World Record Bear.
I was mildly distraught the first time I got World Record Bear, because the first time I played the level, and I didn't even see the bear. I just boosted and hit a bear, and it was over, and it made me sad because I wanted to get the big bear, but there was tiny bear right in the way.
Same. I was like, oh, so I'm just collecting a bunch of bears, right? and
no
then
world record
I
bear.
touched a bear. Yep, I touched the world record bear, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah, if you just boost
so I was like, let me try that again.
you just boost
won't
the
let
start
you.
and like hold right slightly, you'll just touch a bear and it's over. The stage is over.
Though I do appreciate Pika Pal's going with the safe strat of just, let me just get this bear, because sometimes the boost just doesn't want to work sometimes.
Yeah, some of the controls in this game are, especially on the PS2 version, which is the one that is for this event, very finicky. But like in the way that once you play the game, it makes sense, but like not if you don't. That doesn't make sense unless you've played games like that, so I'm sorry.
Yeah, so now we're in the banana portion.
It's a shame that getting all the bananas is not faster than abandoning the banana. I was also mildly upset that there wasn't an achievement or something for getting all the bananas when I played Reroll.
Oh yeah, this is the part where you can boost up the ledge.
Yeah, this went very poorly for a lot of people during our race. I will not be surprised if neither... I think Socrates was the only one who just completely demolished it. And ooh, that was a weird bounce, but Pika Pal's got it. That is very difficult for no reason.
Yeah, it's just like, it's speed dependent and then just angle dependent. And if you hit it bad, you will bounce. And sometimes just making it even worse than if you just would have just rolled up regularly. Yeah, does a good job dodging the swan boat. Or car, swan car. But it's a swan boat
It's
car.
a swan boat with wheels. Okay, so it's a duck boat, but it's a swan. You know, you ever been in the cities that have the duck boat tours?
Oh yeah, those things.
Yeah, but it's a swan. So it's calling it a swan boat, I feel like, is accurate because it's probably the same thing. You know, you can drive it in the lake. It'll be fine.
It's for couples only. It's for people who want those duck tours, but only with their significant other.
It's a significant other World War II era amphibious landing craft. Would recommend going on one of those tours if your city has them available. It's a fun way to be on a river cruise in some of the northeastern cities of the United States that have those, like Boston, Philadelphia had one for a while.
Is actually losing, I think, a little bit of time here. I think they were just trying to get the 3 meters, and they just couldn't find another object.
Normally you don't cut
like
back that way, do you?
Yeah, because typically you get about this size, but it just took Pika Pals a little bit longer to get that 3 meters before coming back over here.
Yeah, and you visit this area when you're this big, and there is a theoretical max size you can get in the game that is hard to achieve because of how the game works with loading areas and unloading things once you get to X size. There's probably a lot of tricks in this that make it work out very well. Just in terms of how the game is coded, I like those things. I should look that up. A lot of these games work on a wing and a prayer sometimes. Katamari probably much more functional, as we do see more bananas. But I think Pop-Tart Cat has just cut a lot of boosts out. And as I was saying, that part where they were more comfortable, just consistent with just rolling along, and boosting up to the wall to try and crawl over it.
It's a safer way to play because you know you can consistently get the same time. But at some point, it's just like you need to boost in order to get your time up.
Yeah, I feel like, because some boosts are risky. Like I watched at the last at GDQ 2020 when I was actually picking Sunkir's brain and was planning this event that got delayed a couple times. I watched him race the regular season's winner mid-boss, and Sunkir threw away 40 seconds because they botched a boost and bonked, and if they hadn't boosted, they would have lost maybe 5 seconds. So there's definitely some things like, are you saving 5 seconds or losing 40? And that's rough. If I were to take Link's Awakening as a bad example, there's a lot of tricks in that game that are skipped in the category that we have for this event that are, you can save a quarter of a second if you do this, but if you mess it up, you lose 2 seconds. So you always go for it. And it just, sometimes it's just like, those seconds matter.
I mean, we won't be seeing Link's Awakening, but
not yet. Anyway.
Not yet. I hope we do, because I actually I very much enjoyed that game in the seasons.
No, when are you playing the rando with me?
When my life gets more stable.
Fair enough. Everybody is very busy. As Peak Pals is built basically a full stage lead. It's going to be pretty hard at this point, I think, for Pop-Tart Cat to come back, barring and it's just getting absolutely bullied by the swan, the swan boat. Just that.
But Pika Pals is getting bullied by the wall.
Yeah.
Or is Pika Pals bullying the wall?
I feel like if you're punching a wall, I don't think you're winning. I feel like the wall is not being bullied.
Yeah, but that's the strange thing about the physics of this game. Even though your ball is big enough to climb the ledges, sometimes the ledge just says, I don't want to be climbed today.
Yeah, it decides that you're bonking it and it pushes back. You can't even pick up those walls, so you can never, ever, get your revenge on that wall. It just beats you. As Pop-Tart Cat taking the more standard route through just to get that 3 meters in that stage, that made more sense. Not having some of those issues, but again, is still quite a bit behind. About 2 minutes, but we'll see how this ends up going. We still have some of the hardest stages left in the game. Although I'd probably say 9 is harder than 10. 10 is just long.
Yeah. 9 has some very specific size requirements that you need, which if you don't know your exact route can take you a while.
Yeah, and especially if you don't know any backups, it's problematic. Is hopefully seeing Pop-Tart Cat here finish on the fish pole, going a little bit differently. They only need a little bit. I'm not finishing on the fish, just finishing on the people shooting them with guns.
I mean, I too would want to collect AK-47s plus people.
I mean, those are just pistols, though. Different.
Oh, they were just pistols?
Yeah. I don't think anybody in Katamari has an assault rifle. Which,
even if they were assault rifles, compared to the size of the ball, it's essentially a pistol.
Listen, it's like Shark Tornado, only it's, machine gun ball. I wouldn't want that rolling towards me, ever.
That's my favorite horror movie.
Shark Tornado?
No, Machine Gun Ball.
Oh, okay. No, Sharknado, that's the name of the movie. I can't believe they made as many of them as they did.
All right, so we're going to come up to Pika Pal's. Pika Pal's going to probably grab I want to say it's like a fish pole, or like a flag pole or something. And they're going to be able to just hop over this ledge.
They're looking for something else to grab.
Oh, they didn't get the size they needed.
No, not quite. Had to go back, but as you can see, this game pretty convenient for telling leads. About a 5 meter lead, although it's more of a size is more exponential than than you think. So it's not just hundreds of meters behind. It's
as soon as you get to a certain size, everything else just continuously multiplies. It
you'll hit
exponentially
5
grows,
and then immediately jump to 15. And it's easy. As what is Peak Pal stuck on? I think that power pole they had was wedged into something and preventing them from rolling.
I think it was one of the cars. It just decided, like, the car's just not small enough to be picked up yet, but not quite big enough to actually knock him away. But with that, finishes 8. And you can also see the exponential time of every level. Like, almost all the previous levels were under 3 minutes. Now we're at 5 minutes. This next one will probably take 6, and then the final stage, who knows?
Yeah, I will say that, like, the final stage of this game is probably one of, like, the most fitting final zones of a game. It's literally everything in the game you've seen so far. It's, you know, get bigger than you've ever done before. And there's just, you know, it's everything in the game, but it's just more. Okay, does get it and does that boost. Do they bonk right where they need to go? Yes. Good boost. Has to not get bullied by these dogs. He has meat, so they will chase him. Doesn't seem like it. And yeah, good start.
Bear gets out of the way in time.
The start to 9 is so neat because you just have to take weird paths around to get.
It's honestly the hardest thing in this game.
I think it's one of the coolest parts of the run, or just the thing overall. And like, if you're playing this without ever having seen it before, like, this stage is insanely hard to figure out. Okay, wait, where do I have to go to get the useful size so that I can hit this next tier? Because there's a whole bunch of stuff that is just always too big for you until you start hitting these tiers. And Peak Pal seems to know exactly where they want to go. They start picking up penguins.
And doing the boost mechanic to pick up those logs. So you can, essentially, anytime you boost, it almost nullifies all the things that are on your ball at the time. So you can pick up things you normally wouldn't be able to by just rolling into them.
There's roll-ups, and actually during the regular season race, it was Socrates the most who I saw doing these roll-ups, it really smooth. You just do this, like, small boost, roll the ball up, and then immediately climbing a wall. It's very impressive because it's hard to do a boost for an exact amount of time, stop it exactly when you need to, and then immediately just lightly roll up so that you don't bonk the wall.
Yeah, just mastering the boost is one of the hardest things in this game, even when you're not trying to boost. It's like, it's difficult.
Yeah.
But fun at the same time.
This other fun thing about this game is I didn't realize that a PlayStation 2 controller had L3 or R3 until I saw the controls for this game. Because, like, nobody ever used it.
I learned that when I played Ape Escape 2.
I eventually need to play the Ape Escape games. A little bit too...
They're very good. Do recommend.
A little bit too long for this event, unfortunately. I did look at them. Which, by the way, if you want to suggest games for Season 4, go to speedseasons.com and please fill out that form. I'll take any recommendations, because it's good. Oh, here's, like, the one quote-unquote glitch. There are a lot of the ways people save on memory is by collision doesn't matter here because, you know, there's no jump. Why would I need collision on the bottom of something? And that's basically the only time it matters.
Picking up these walls. This is, barring something tragic, I feel like Pika Palace is probably going to have this race.
Yeah, it's almost a full world, or a full stage ahead. I guess technically, well, I guess it'd be star. I can't really say world because we're making stars. Stars aren't planets. They Might Be Giants is 2 songs about the subject matter on what stars are. One of them, they tell you that everything they told you in the previous song is a lie. As I really love the animation, or like just the appearance of the Katamari when you pick all the trees. It's actually one of my like favorite ways of this. It just looks, it's just silly.
Yeah, so Pika Palace has like past that gap of like the difficulty portion, and the rest of this level is, I don't want to say free, but like you have the size you need to pick up the things you need now, pretty much.
The one thing that you're worried about, and actually you did a quick roll there to fix it, is accidentally vaulting over one of the required things that you need to pick up something, and just bonking on a house.
Yeah, because now he's big enough to pick up the bigger trees, the tier 2 trees.
Yeah, and actually, as Pop-Tart gets into this game, we will be able to see, or this stage, it's about a 4-minute lead for Pika Pals. Just going off of the timer. A little bit less than that because it's not super exact, but this is hard. This is probably the hardest climb in the entire, and just gets it. Doesn't even use the vaulting strategies, just gets it.
Makes it look easy.
It's not. And it looks like Pop-Tart does have a very good start to this stage, so that's good to know. But
moving on to the final stage, make the moon.
Yeah, so I don't know exactly what it is, but the moon seems to get blown up a lot in Japan. Definitely watch plenty of TV shows where the moon gets exploded. So we got to make another one. I guess this is how they do it every time, because it just shows back up.
I mean, don't you have a spare moon collection?
No. I'm not Jupiter or Saturn. Hell, even Pluto has a spare moon. We've just got the one.
Yeah, the start of Make a Moon, pretty similar pathing. Ooh, gets trampled by the elephant.
Oh, 3-3 with trample. But you got to get bigger. But yeah, the biggest threat on 10 is falling off at the start, because there's no very convenient things to get even close to the size that you need without wasting way more time than it, because it takes a ton of time to reset a stage. It's just a humongous amount of time, and thankfully we haven't seen any stage resets. I don't think we will see any, because unless Pop-Tart falls off on 10. But even if there is a way to clip out of bounds and fall, and you will be respawned at a set point, but you just have to wait. It's just time loss and it sucks, but unless it's at the very start of the stage, it's probably almost always worth it to just let it happen. And this game is actually very good about not letting that happen. I don't think did it ever happen to you, Shrambles, when you were practicing flip out of bounds?
No, it never happened. The worst thing that happened to me was me getting stuck on star 4 in between the crack of the ping pong balls.
Yeah.
And that happened to me too many times, but I still went for it every time.
Yeah,
because I had to.
If you want to see what that looks like, that unfortunately happened during our season's race. That's probably on the Game's Done Quick YouTube.
It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, because that is probably the worst scenario for everybody, is that happening.
It's the reset point for trying to get PBs.
Mm-hmm. Which led to a lot of people just, you just don't have to do it. It doesn't save that much time to risk the minute plus time loss you get. And okay, because does not fall off here, that's important. That's good.
But it is the swag strat of it, and if you don't do the swag strat, is it really a speed run?
No. That's why I only play games that are 100% swag.
Which is why in the Pilot Wings race, I was always flipping my penguin.
Oh, I mean that, it just looked like the particular flip that you did, because it looked like, and I do want to know this, were you looking for a certain spot on the penguin to just press down and then you knew you were going to get it?
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
And also it was part of it if I flip, I somehow magically always end up being in the perfect spot to get in the center.
Yeah, that's
So not only was it swag, it was also convenient.
Yeah, I conveniency swag strats. If we see Pilot Wings, I'm almost certain that that game is only that is convenient swag. Unless you're someone like 140 who likes to show off how good they can mash and lose time because they're that good at mashing.
I hope we see Pilot Wings because I want to see someone adopt my hop strats with the helicopter.
I'm almost certain the world record holder is going to go shave 1.5 minutes off his time with that hopping. And
no. Yeah, we're getting near the end. Despite the fact that Pika Pals only has 21, that's still only like 2 minutes left of game time. Despite it taking like 5 minutes to get to this point.
Yeah, has done very well.
Because as we said, just like as your Katamari gets bigger, it just starts getting exponentially bigger.
Yeah, and
you could say it starts to snowball.
There's no snow in this game though, so that doesn't work.
Let me have this.
10 out of 10. I appreciate it.
I don't normally make puns, but I saw the opportunity. I had to take it. You can't take this from me.
I'm on my best behavior today. I am not going to make puns.
Yes, Trembles normally punishes me with puns a lot.
I didn't want Alpha to kick me out of the stream.
In response, I beat him in every tournament race that we're in. So you know, there's trade-offs.
That's true. It's the trade-off.
I'm not going to lie. In that Kusa race that we were playing, which Piper was also in, I tried probably harder than I had in any race recently because I didn't want to let any of my players think that they were better than me. You got to be the greatest. You know, you have to have that kind of confidence. Oh, that's really unfortunate. Katamari shape and, oh, gets up there. Pop-Tart Cat. Happy with that.
Yeah, but it's too little too late for Pop-Tart Cat at this point because Pika Pals is on the building phase.
You know, if we see a game crash somehow, I don't think I've ever seen this game fail. I think that would do it. Pika Pals needing to go to the bathroom for 10 minutes, that could also do it.
Pika Pals just pausing to gloat. Unfortunately, Pika Pals has no idea where Pop-Tart Cat is. Same with Pop-Tart Cat, because the racers are not able to watch each other during the race.
Yeah, they're.
I believe, yeah.
I mean, I didn't put any rules in it, but I mean, I wouldn't be focusing on where anybody else is. And in a game like this, where I don't think you're going to adopt the strategy of, well, I'm crazy far behind, I might as well go for this like big YOLO trick to see if I can catch back up. The only games I could think of in the tournament that are like that are Link's Awakening and Pilot Wings, where you can sure go for some stuff that's fast, but does not pay off, and if you're behind, but those are the only ones I could even think anybody would try and adopt that strategy.
I mean, unless someone found some super secret glitch that they've been saving for the tournament that not even actual runners of the game know, but I doubt we'll see that.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see that, especially considering of all of the horrid things that happen in Link's Awakening anyway. But yeah, almost a 7 minute, I guess, or 6 minutes ahead on the stage, or has been in the stage for Pika Pals compared to Pop-Tart Cat. There's really not that left. That last 100 meters comes very quickly. Basically right over here. Just rolling around the big volcano. Wonder what island Pika Pals is going to finish on. Pika Pals is trying to roll, so must be stuck on something.
One of the islands is called Old Saltville, and I was like, oh, hey, it's me.
Okay, there's Scallop Island.
Look out, Scallop Island. Splashy Island.
There it is.
There it is.
Splashy Island finish. GG to Pika Pals taking game 1.
Yeah, sub 41, no doubt.
Yeah, that's essentially about 4 minutes faster than the race in the regular season.
Yeah, okay.
So I would say Pika Pals probably put some time into this game, because a 4-minute increase, at least consistently, and nothing against Pop-Tart Cat. Pop-Tart Cat was probably also on their way to getting a PB.
Very possible, but not 100% sure, as I am going to record this race. And we're going to see what Pop-Tart Cat is picking for game 2.
CTR it is.
And yeah, okay. So this will be a bit spicy. Let's see. Pop-Tart Cat, what did you get in CTR?
So I have all of this stuff written down. So Pop-Tart
4601.
Cat got a 4601 versus Pika Pals' 4706. So they're a minute apart.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting.
And I want to say these times are probably without some of the major skips.
Yeah, probably.
So like if one of them just decided to learn one of the skips, it could easily swing in their favor. But as we were saying earlier on the stream, CTR was one of those games where a lot of the runners just came in very casually, just like very comfy playthrough of this specific speedrun, because just the way that the category is. So CTR, it's all cups, and you don't necessarily need to win the races in order to finish the goal. It's just essentially time trials for each level with opponents.
Yeah. And I actually don't remember which characters these two pick, but the usual viable options are like, what? You could pick Dingodile if you wanted, but it depends also on the version of the game that they're running. If they're running JP or if they're running the US versions.
Yeah,
I think
it's very
we're probably
curious.
either going to see 2 Tinies or 2 Cocos, or a mix between the two.
I believe Pika Pals did play Coco the first time, but if you know they put some more time into this game, may have switched what characters, because they're basically of all the characters, the most optimal way of playing this game is on the Japanese version, and it's to play Dingodile for the easiest cup, because Penta Penguin, who has maxed out in all stats, has too good of turning, so actually can't do some of the boost chaining that Dingodile can do. And then to play Penta Penguin, who is just busted for every other stage. However, they could also just play Penta Penguin every time. But we'll have to see.
Yeah. And it looks like they're both playing the English version.
Yeah, so we will probably see a neat mixture, or it could just be all Coco or all engine.
All right, it looks like Pop-Tart Cat's hovering on Coco. We're waiting to see where Pika Pals ends up with his character.
Yeah, so very curious to see where they will be going.
Because I still think you can do most of the skips even with Coco, despite I think most, like the tutorial showed Tiny doing most of those, if I recall.
Or am I looking at this wrong? I think Pika still hasn't. Pika Pal saying, looking to see which cup I start in adventure mode game today. Think that may have accidentally happened. But
all right, so it looks like Pika Pals is also picking Coco. So we're gonna have dual Coco races.
yeah, this is definitely the safest way of playing this game. Coco, very easy to control. And this is definitely the game with probably the least amount of I learned to speedrun this game and I played this game for the first time save. Just because, there's only so much you can do if you just, press the button and drive.
A lot of it sometimes comes down to enemy RNG too. So like in the later races, like in the first two cups, you can easily get ahead of the opponents even without doing any of the skips. But doing the last two cups is more difficult to get ahead of them. And then they can even start throwing missiles at you and start getting in your way.
Yeah, if you get far enough ahead, that won't happen. But you have to get far enough ahead because the AI just turns off.
It's going to be really unfortunate to watch someone potentially have their season's career ended because Crash just wanted to crash you.
Yeah, and the racers are ready. They're getting ready to start soon. We have a fun little race on our hands here. They are both starting on Wumpa Cup. Actually, if I'm looking at that, I think Pop-Tart Cat had cleared all other difficulties or whatever. I saw a lot more stars than for Pika Pals.
I noticed that as well.
I'll pause a little early, not skipping, so losing some time there. But trying to, lots of good hopping. This is some good movement from both of them.
Yeah, so the big speed thing in this is doing a lot of drift boosts to build up your reserves just to make your cart go fast.
Yeah, because you can just always go fast. And the one thing I do like about this game, or the Mario Kart at the very least, you don't have to destroy your controller to play, to do these boosts. You just hold the direction, wait for that to build up to red, and you push the other button and it boosts. It's easy.
Yeah, oddly enough, I actually find this game pretty comparable to Katamari in a way. Mostly because it's a lot of just memorization of just like knowing what happens in the tracks.
Yeah, and I'm trying to see, just because that slight delay that Pop-Tart Cat had with that, false-ish start. Looks like, about a 2-second loss there, but Pal's hitting the bridge, then just, I think missed a boost pad on the first lap, and it's just had some less clean movement, maybe some less tight corners.
Yeah, Pika Pal's drift boosting right now is very clean. Like, his lines are just very good. Like,
Yeah,
Pop-Tart Cat is slightly just doing a hop after some of the drifts, which is losing them a little bit of time.
Yeah, but not terribly too much. And again, these are the easy tracks, the tracks that they can lose time on. Although this one has the RNG skip in it. And Pika Pals gets the throwable item, so that's good.
And so does Pop-Tart Cat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the very, very few RNG skips in the game. I don't think any of them are going to go for the Tiny Coliseum skip. But yeah, make sure they get all the Wumpa fruit they need. And Nitro on the second lap probably wants to ditch that somewhere where they won't bonk into it.
I think red is one you can throw.
Yeah, you can throw potions forward.
Yeah, so Pika Pals gets another one.
And
Pika Pals gets
as well.
Same seed. They have the same seed.
Yeah, it's been the same items both times, so that's pretty neat.
Way to make a fair race, Alpha. Giving the racers the same RNG.
It's very convenient. Okay, and then there's the shield.
Okay, now it's different.
Still throw it, so and just use it, get rid of it. Thought you could throw the shield. Oh, but look at the bomb. And they're so far ahead of the AI, they're never gonna lock onto them.
Yeah, these first 2 cups, I don't think we're gonna need to worry about the enemy AI at all.
I think the last cup, the cloud, you'll definitely see that probably happen because you have to turn back into the AI and just hope they don't decide to bully you.
We do have the tiny skips here, though. We'll see if they go for them.
Yeah, so
Peekabell's does.
Yeah. There's 3 of them. 2 of them are intentional, 1 of them is not. And let's see what strategy they adopt for taking this part. Gets that, so does do it.
Doesn't go for the second one, though.
No, I think maybe the angle that they were at made that a bit trickier than they wanted it to be. We'll see Pop-Tart Cat. I'm assuming we got the Star Boost one. And is not going for the first one, didn't have the speed for it. Or the second one, for that matter.
Peekabell's gets it again. Looks like just Peekabell's is just opting not to go for the one after the big jump.
I mean, that's if you do that big jump, that's a hard one to line up. Like if you go the regular way, I guess it's you're kind of just facing it, but that last part of that whole sequence is a bit hard. Yeah,
there's a reason Peekabell's is the #1 seed in this tournament right now.
Yeah, definitely very consistent. I would say between the #1 and 2 seed, Peekabell's and LK, that could have swapped if LK hadn't, because LK was ahead in the Skyblazer race, and made a mistake, and then it spiraled out of control. So those 2 are very, very close. Yeah, just some cozy, fun kart racing as Peekabell's getting the hops, maintaining their boost. Very good.
Yeah, this is another, since this game was actually, this one's only about a month ago. So I feel like a lot of this game is still in everyone's mind, and it's another easy game to pick up.
Yeah.
Which I think will be interesting for some of our other racers. So like, when we get to their match, just to see like how comfort level comes into making their picks.
Yeah,
because I assumed we were going to see Skyblazer #1.
Yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that Pop-Tart Cat didn't go out on Skyblazer, but maybe just wasn't, wanted to do CTR, thought that they had a better time, or that gap was closer, and could do that. So it was just aiming for, a single win. Thought this was the best chance instead of Skyblazer, which, in fairness, if I was Peekabell's and I was strategizing, I may not have practiced Skyblazer that much, because I would have assumed people would have just banned it.
Yeah, that was kind of my thought process too. It's just like, well, why would I practice the #1 game I have? Everyone's going to be too scared to play me in that.
I mean, I'm probably fairly confident in saying that I would be absolutely shocked if anybody left Link's Awakening up versus Peekabell's.
I mean, if I made brackets and I was playing Peekabell's, I would have taken that chance.
Yeah.
Because I did pretty well in that, but I knew, like, if I made brackets, no one was going to play Pilot Wings against me.
Oh, yeah, nobody. Except for...
And, like, that was just...
Yeah.
That was just the sacrifice I had to make.
Yeah, now that everybody has the technology, though.
Yeah, so Peekabell's getting into the second cup. again, these early cup races, the first two, kind of like Katamari, like the game doesn't really start picking up its difficulty until the second half.
Yeah, or well, I guess at least in this one, it's really the middle. The middle is probably the hardest part of this game.
Yeah, and then when Pop-Tart Cat gets into this race, this next race, we can see how far behind he actually is. And it's looking to be about 50 seconds, maybe a minute.
Yeah.
Pika-Pal's really doing a good job.
About 50 seconds on the head, and 52-ish.
Yeah, just if you didn't miss it, Pika-Pal's is doing a very good job maintaining their boost with the hops.
Yeah, just
because mechanic in the game is like you can keep your boost. You keep your boost while you're in the air. So
yeah.
I don't know how technical that actually is.
Yeah, and just taking the more aggressive cuts. Like you can cut across that dirt right there. Although I don't know if Coco can do it super easily.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume Pika-Pal's probably did go over this game a little bit more.
Yeah, and okay, did hold on to that TNT. Pop-Tart Cat, I think. Oh, but this homing missile just did not respect the TNT. Just hunted him down. That's rough. Yeah, you know, you have a game that you expect people might leave up because they don't think you're practicing it, and then you just big showcase. Hey, I learned the game. I'm going fast now. Of course, now you've used your secret weapon for the next round. So.
Yeah, which I think like looking at like some of our other racers, like St. Joe and Just Defend have two games that they did not play.
Yeah, so I have this feeling, just because I know Joe, there might be a chance St. Joe is never going to play Violent Wings. But Just Defend may pick up Link's Awakening. But both St. Joe and Pika-Pals weren't exactly fans of Pilot Wings. Hard game, hard life. Definitely sometimes can make you feel bad because, Tony is a jerk. Usually Lance, though. It's usually Lance's fault.
I blame Shirley. Shirley gave me a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But I think that comes to like the interesting tactical strategy of making your bans and picks. Like Pika-Pals was in the advantage state, not only just being the #1 seed, but like comparing the 7 games, Pika-Pals had 4 games that they had better times than Pop-Tart Cat in.
Yeah.
So just even knowing that advantage gives you a leg up.
Yeah, absolutely. Pika-Pal's really just building up their lead as Pop-Tart Cat's having a lot of problems in Dingo Canyon.
Yeah, Dingo Cannon's a little bit harder to get your lines to do the drift boosting. There's the opening area, like the opening portion of the level course, so many words, easier, but like when you get those tight corners, it's easier to just like bounce off the walls. Water, not a good time.
Yeah, at least Coco has a fairly decent turning stat, so it is a lot easier to just be Coco and hit something. Not really sure what it was that spun them out, but then crashed through a potion that's on the ground, so didn't lose too much. It's not like Mario Kart where if you just get hit and you keep getting hit, it just gets worse and worse.
You go from 1st to 8th in a matter of 10 seconds.
Yeah, there's always that great clip of a guy about to cross the finish line, getting hit by like 30 things and then punched off the side of the road after hitting 8th place. No blue shells in this game, because I think if there are any, the AI turns off after you're so far ahead. Because again, there's a lot of tricks into making this game work. Like, there's a lot of 2D sprites where there normally wouldn't be, and that's a mask for Pop-Tart Cat. That was a very lucky mask. Those don't happen very often.
The game knows that Pop-Tart's behind, so just wants to make the race a little bit more interesting.
You can only get it in second place, and it's like a 12.5%.
And currently Pop-Tart is in second place.
I mean,
not in the game, but in the race.
I guess you're right. Definitely going to help them catch up a little bit. You don't expect those boosts, but I want to see if Pikachu gets the big skip in this track.
Yeah, this is where we start getting some of the more fun skips. But this one is intended, though. And does get it.
Oh, boy. That saves a lot of time. It didn't quite land on the boost pad, but, I mean, still got the skip.
It's still like a 5-second time save.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time saves outside of Tiny Coliseum don't save the world in time. It's always, a second here, a second there, but they add up because you got to do them 3 times.
Yeah, and the pyramid skip as well.
Yeah,
that one's also a good time skip. That's a good time saver as well. But we'll see if they go for that as well.
I wouldn't say it's quite over if someone decides to do something very, very, very silly. Gets the skip much cleaner on the second lap. Let's see.
I mean, if Pop-Tart Cat doesn't go for the shortcut, I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up unless they do the crazy skips at the end.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I mean, one of them could literally just catapult Pop-Tart Cat in the lead if he gets it both times. But what was it when Hypnoshark was demoing it? Got it and said it was the first time it had ever been done in a marathon setting. So I don't think that skip is going to happen. Doesn't go for the skip here. Not comfortable with it.
Yeah, I don't think Pop-Tart Cat's probably going to go for the later skips then, unless like they focused all of their time just learning the Tiny Coliseum skip.
That seems that was warned against. Don't do that.
It was warned against, but
yeah, I mean,
this is the time to pull out the final tricks because your tournament life is on the line. Yeah. If you know it.
Maybe that's why they picked this game. They wanted to show everybody they could do a consistent Tiny Coliseum skip, and they felt they were going to lose anyway, but might as well show everyone that he's better than Hypnoshark at one thing. I'd respect that.
That was me in the Pilot Wings race. Yeah. I knew I wasn't going to qualify, so I wanted to do something very silly.
I mean, it's like you almost qualified, but Pop-Tart Cat did in fact get the placement that even if you won that race, you wouldn't have qualified. Which is always rough. And the bonk. That's a tight turn and kind of stuck on the wall there. Lead is becoming insurmountable for Peak Pals almost.
Yeah, but we are getting into the longer and harder tracks. Yeah. But in a racing game, it's really hard to make up time.
Yeah, especially ones where you don't have to worry about winning or losing. You don't have to win the tracks in this category, which is important. Where if I were to compare it to the racing game in Season 2, Wipeout XL, you had to win, or you had to do the track again. And if you finished below 3rd place 3 times, you sure were playing the game again. Much more forgiving.
Yeah, for the most part, I would say a lot of the games in this season, outside of Super Mario Bros. 2, most of the games were pretty forgiving.
Yeah, warps. It's fine.
I mean, if we see SMB2, which I doubt we will.
The
Going off of our next race that we have scheduled.
The only race
I don't think we're seeing it today.
Yeah, the only race I could think of, and it's because both of them had speedrun it before. Although I think JD has a better time, and it would be JD versus LK tomorrow. But that would be extremely spicy. But, you know, Season 1, LK was the only person we saw play Mario 1, and LK has a pretty good time in Mario 1. Weirder things have happened. Some people just want to play the games they want to play, and that's, you know, respectable for sure.
Yeah, we can see that just according to the time, it looks like Pop-Tart Cat is about 1:55 now behind. It's a tall order for him to catch up at this point. But you never know. That's just how these races go. You never know.
No, you don't. It always ends up being close. But okay, so this is where I'm curious to see, because I know Pika Pals didn't go for either of them, and I can't remember the names of the tricks for this, but there's some really, really cool skips here that they can do.
Yeah, this is
on
the
the
pyramid.
stage.
This is the pyramid skip I was mentioning. It's probably not the true name of it, but it's the pyramid level.
No, it's got a cool name that I can't remember.
Gets one, does not get the second part of it,
I
though.
think drifted a little bit too hard, so might go
will they
for
get
the
the
backup
backup?
right here.
It does. Doesn't even use their fuel can that they have, their NOS.
Yeah, they might be saving that for something spicy later. Might make one of the other parts of the skip nicer, but this is a pretty hefty time save.
It doesn't hit too many walls on the pyramid climb.
Yeah, that's a nice part of Coco. You can get that good turn stat. Yeah,
It just looks like
Yeah,
it looks like Pika Pals is only going for the second, like the backups. So
yeah. Just the way they hit that first part of the skip, there's no way that they're going to be able to make the second part, because they didn't take a certain corner tight enough. But you know, that's consistency, and what, you're losing 2 seconds a lap, so you're losing 6 seconds overall, but you're still saving a ton of time over not doing either. And especially if you mess up one of them, you wouldn't be, you know, saving the time.
And that's the consistency you need if you want to win this. Just like if you can do something pretty much 100% of the time versus doing something that you can only do 50% of the time and it saves you like 2 seconds, go for the 100%.
Yeah, as Pika Pals is moving on to the next race. I'm clicking on this button. Well, I can get some insight as to what the players answered for what they felt about this game. And Pika Pals, I asked for some one-sentence blurbs. Pika Pals' blurb on this was, game suddenly became a lot more fun once I figured out how to play. And I think definitely had some issues the first time through, and I think may have also incidentally started in adventure mode, which a couple of people did, apparently, by accident.
I honestly did the same thing. Like I opened adventure mode and it's like, how do you beat this in 50 minutes? Then I learned the actual category.
And that's a rough bonk, but okay, it still lands there. So not the worst. If that was Mario Kart, it would spawn you back on the platform, and then you would have been knocked off again by a guy by the star.
It's essentially the same time as if you would have went around.
Yeah,
like the long way.
No loss on the attempt, which is always a good feel. That you're just like, okay, I didn't lose it if I just decided to skip it. So that's you like to see it when the mistakes happen. It doesn't look like Pop-Tart Cat's going for any of the skips. And Pika Pals has cut that corner quite well enough. Or cuts too hard, I guess. The Crash, somehow going faster than Coco. This game is very little rubber banding, if any at all. which is great. I hate games that have rubber banding. It makes it a lot harder to actually enjoy being good at the game.
Yeah, so now I think just barring if Pop-Tart Cat does any of the later skips, I think Pika-Pals has this.
Yeah,
Pika-Pals punching his ticket into semifinals.
Yeah, even 2 tiny Coliseums is not going to save it. Which, getting pretty close to that stage. What did Pop-Tart Cat think about this game? Let's see. They liked all the tech in this game. Definitely had fun. And so they didn't really care for racing games. So I guess they ended up liking this game a lot more than they were letting on, because they did pick it second.
I mean, speedrunning a racing game is a lot different than speedrunning a platformer.
That's certainly true.
Pika-Pals does not get it the second time. No.
Unlucky.
And like I think I'm really excited to see if we see a Sky Blazers and SMB2 in the matchup.
That
just
would
because of how.
Who would do that?
I don't think it's going to happen. It might happen for LK and Just Defend, but just like to see, or it might even happen for One Up in St. Joe. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the best bet on that one would be One Up in St. Joe, just because I feel like if Just Defend lets that through, that's asking for a loss, possibly, unless they handshake it. But those will be very tight.
Yeah, mostly because it's just like the controls for CTR are very simple, and then as opposed to like Katamari, which they seem complex, but there's not much you need to do outside of control sticks.
Yeah. I mean, you only really have 2 buttons. I guess you also have L and R. They're important.
Yeah, so like, because I think pressing L3, R3 causes you to flip your direction, which is very important for doing some tech.
Yeah, I mean, the games I'd say with the most complex movement in this entire tournament are the ones with the fewest buttons, which is just funny to me. And okay, we don't see a nitro for Pika-Pals, so probably not going for the skip.
Yeah, no one's going for the not recommended skip.
Not even not recommended, but don't try this, it's a bad idea skip. It saves a lot of time. But it's also why Hypnoshark doesn't get past that stage when he does world record attempts.
Also why Hypnoshark does this cup first.
Yeah. Because, you know, they're not allowed to reset. Everything's in a race format, so you really gotta change up how you're playing it. You're not doing PV attempts. It's a different kind of strategy that you're employing. You know, especially considering like you haven't been playing this game for, you know, 10 years, and you're just like, I'm only gonna do the risky stuff because otherwise I could actually lose to the guy next to me. If you do all the risky stuff in some of these games, you might not finish.
But part of it's that's the risk.
Yeah.
The risk you gotta take sometimes, especially like if I were Pop-Tart Cat, like I have to go for some of these risky strats in order to have a chance to keep my tournament hopes alive.
Yeah, and it's just been incredibly risk adverse, I would say, overall over the 2 games. Not boosting as much, not really taking many of the skips. But you know, maybe had a bad time in practice. Maybe just like they sat down today and like, you know, you have those days where you're just like, I'm not feeling this today. Like I don't think I can do this well today.
Maybe they were hoping for for some reason for Pika-Pals to ban some other games.
Yeah, if they thought Pika-Pals would let Pilot Wings through. We're all hoping for that.
Because the one thing that you can control is the 2 games you ban. So you don't need to practice 7 games. You only need to practice 5.
Yeah.
And even then, like, you know that your opponent's going to ban 2, and you can make some good educated guesses of what they will ban.
Yeah, and there's definitely some thoughts as to what the better decisions to be made are for any of that. There are hard choices for sure. Like, you don't always know where you're going to be going with it. As Peak Pals clears another course, and I don't think we're going to see Tiny Coliseum skip. So that's
probably
that's a bit
not.
sad. But
Peak Pals entering the final cup. A good 2-minute lead, I say, at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe 2-minute 30. And that I think at this point it's insurmountable.
Yeah, there isn't that much time loss in these last couple stages.
Yeah, unless the NPCs get really bullying.
Yeah, I mean, like, even if Peak Pals goes for the crazy skips on these stages, I don't even think that you can lose that time here. Like, because this stage is a really cool skip that I have no idea if we'll even come close to seeing the easy version of it. Or, well, the slower version, I guess.
Oh, is this? Yeah, because this is the one where you turn around and, like...
Yeah,
which is weird. Like, the fourth cup is, like... The fourth cup is weird because there's 2 of those where you turn around to do skips.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see the one on the I don't remember what it's called, Cloud City. I'll call it Cloud City. Oh, we get that skip, though. The tight jump.
Yeah, that one's not as hard.
Yeah. But I
you
feel
can
like
mess it up, but like...
Yeah, I mean, you just bonk. You don't lose that much time if you fail it. The other one, you go in the water. Not good. Not a good time as we see Pop-Tart Cat still on Tiny Coliseum, doing some decent boost chains, but just really not enough. There isn't, even if Peak Pals doesn't do all these skips, it still doesn't add up to the time. And oh, Bonk's there! There's some commentator's curse as moving on to more hopping. Don't actually know where they fell in because everything was sideways.
Yeah, and as much as we're saying things against Pop-Tart Cat's still doing very well.
Oh yeah.
In these, like, compared to like some of the other people in the race, me included, they're just destroying this game.
Oh yeah, they're doing very well. The Peak Pals clearly put in the Coco time.
Yeah, it's a hard task to ask a lot of our racers, just like, hey, here's 7 games to learn in the span of 3 months. Here's 2 weeks to just remind yourself how to do all of them.
Yeah, like you might pick up an extra one. I mean, it's definitely more lenient than Season 2, where it was, here's 9 games, here's an extra week, have fun. But, you know, a little bit less hectic. But definitely a good lead for Peak Pals. Doing a really good job at maintaining these boost chains, and just like the movement overall, I feel is just like that. This was just comfort. Like once they got it, this game clicked, and has definitely been nailing basically a very, very solid Coco run.
Yeah, for the most part, this is just a lot of repetition because it's just a lot of just drift, boost, drift, boost, drift, boost. Occasionally, you need to double jump with the jump mechanic.
Yeah, you just hop and then you hop higher. And yeah, it's just
and as
tight
soon
lines.
as you get those motions down, it's just, everything is just smooth.
All right, so let's see if Peak Pals gets Ultimate Sacred Fire. I believe that's what it's called. The Sacred Fire is in there. Pretty sure Ultimate's also in there. But you can maintain going incredibly fast on this stage for basically forever. So this is a pretty cool stage. I think this is actually my favorite one to just watch as an observer.
I think this is actually the most fun to play stage as well, because it's near the end. I wouldn't say it's a breath of fresh air, but it is just like a nice, relaxing, fun time.
Okay, and gets the jump over. And yeah, I don't think I've seen Pika Pals. This is like the first time I've seen Pika Pals without the boost fire going behind him like the entire track. Like it just started and then it didn't stop until it was over, because this just doesn't end.
Yeah, Pop-Tart Cat, just looking at their stage, also not going for the big skip. I didn't see if they went for the easier skip over the wall. I'll have to just see that now.
Yep, they're coming up to it, and oh, bonks. Feels bad,
Commentator's Curse Part 2.
Yeah. Just don't talk about the ice stage. Apparently, that's where we're ruining everybody by mentioning anything. And oh, Pika Pals just goes straight into a wall. Gets a little hook there, but you look at that mini map, they're a little ahead of everybody else. I think they're gonna win this race.
Yeah, that's what happens when you don't have rubber banding on your AI.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. You know, you try to play some of the more difficult tracks in Mario Kart, it gets rough because the AI just doesn't stop being fast.
I just remember trying to like 3-star all of the Mario Kart tracks in Mario Kart 7 and just getting frustrated because like they would always pull out the red shells and blue shells at the most inopportune times.
There was, and you may have...
I remember getting angry with 3-starring Mario Kart 8 just because I'd get, you know, first in every cup or every round, and then there was always just that one where I'd get second. I'd be angry.
It's like you're driving the heavyweight character with the highest top speed, and then like Toad drives past you and you just want to punch your screen because that's impossible. You didn't slow down. They can't go this fast. Nintendo, please.
Okay, so does Pika Pals go for the big skip here?
I feel like this big skip is pretty easy, so... Just watching, waiting.
I'm gonna say no, because I think they would have. I think it would have happened already, if I remember.
That they drove past it and they turned around and fell off. Now
maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh, it's right here.
That's.
It's late. I think I should stop watching Twitch VODs on 2x speed because it really throws me off of how long things should be.
Yeah, I always watch them normal speed, so I have a good concept of exactly how people are moving, because like when you play a lot of games, I've played way too many video games, you can see like where people are having problems with maybe how they're doing their inputs just on their movement. And like Pika Pal's movement is way cleaner than I think my hands would let me play this game.
Look, there's not enough time in the day, so I gotta double some speed things.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
Watch movies at 3x speed. You know, I get the point.
No, that much cleaner that time from Pika Pals. Nails that perfectly. That was really good. But, is this the last track? No, there's one more.
There's the last track is very comfy.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, the last track is the super cozy tire track that unless they go for a really dumb skip, is just gonna be comfy.
Yeah, Pika Pals is looking to demolish their season time in the regular season.
They're going a little fast, which is good because we're on a little bit of a schedule today. Because there's some stuff planned for right after this. Gives us plenty of time to get all that done.
A little sad we won't see a game 3 out of them, but we do have the potential for game 3 in our next set.
Yeah, I made maybe the more lopsided matches go first, because that way everybody gets to see the close potential 3-game bangers that we have coming up for the finales. And of course, it could just be wrong, and everybody could just go quick 2-0. Where's the fun in that? You gotta root for the underdog. Though right now, I think we're out of ways to find a way for Pop-Tart to come back into this.
Again, as you said in the Katamari race, maybe the game crashes. Maybe Pika Pals just decides to pause like right at the final lap to go to the bathroom. Like
Pika Pals just forgets how to use his thumbs. That could do it.
Pika Pals just goes backwards on the course, thinking we're doing reverse cup.
Ooh.
Who knows?
No, but like this track, for whatever reason, like you play it and you're just like, this feels like a Cup 1 track. It doesn't, like, there's nothing special about it.
It feels like a Cup 1 track 4 track.
Yeah, because like it's
this
long,
makes sense.
It's a bit windy, but like there's no hazards. It's just drive car, go fast.
There's no lava. There's no like there's no environment outside of tires.
And tires are nice and bouncy, except for the part where everything is just a brick wall in this game. So, I mean, this is what you would expect to see at, like, if you went to like actually go-karting. Like, this is the kind of course you would see, but there would be more tires instead of 6-foot-high steel walls.
And there'd also be like inclines.
Oh yeah, and probably less crates on the track. I don't think a normal go-kart can stand up to crashing through several crates, nor the person inside enjoy being slammed in the face with the remnants of 2x4s coming off the boxes.
I mean, we have helmets for that.
I don't think the helmet is going to protect your face or your arms or any of the rest of your body from being hit.
Well, regardless, Pika Pals is about to finish this up in the next 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
With 10 minutes, Pop-Tart still has a good chance.
Yeah.
But
Pop-Tart does go for the skip in cloud level, but at this point, it's too late.
Yeah.
GG's to Pika Pals. Moving on to the semifinals in Speed Seasons 3.
Yeah, congratulations to Pika Pals. Who they are racing off against, they're gonna find that out tomorrow. And they'll have to figure out.
Yeah, so that means that we are gonna get ready for our next match, but before that, we are gonna take a break. Just a reminder to everyone that SGDQ 2021 online is July 4th through the 11th, so be sure to check out gamesdonequick.com for more information. Prize submissions are now open, so definitely check that out. And also on gamesdonequick.com, you can find out more information about Frame Fatales, the all-woman speedrunning event, which will be returning on August 15th to the 21st with Flame Fatales. So go to gamesdonequick.com/framefatales for more information on that upcoming event as well. And coming up next, we do have our second match of the day, which is going to be Piper versus Socrates 315. We're going to get them set up, and then we're going to have them choose their bands and everything on stream once we come back after this break. So stick around, but get up, stretch, hydrate, take care of yourself, get a snack, get cozy afterwards, because we've got one more match that could go to a full 3 games. Who knows? We'll see what the runners choose as their fates for this next match. But we'll be right back after this quick break. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speed Seasons 3. My name is Amber Cyprin. I am the host. I'm joined by Alpha 5, who was the organizer of this event, and our special guest commentator for the weekend, Shrambles. And we just wrapped up our first match of the top 8 of Speed Seasons 3. Pika Pals did beat out Pop-Tart Cat with a 2-0 to be able to move on into the semifinals, which will happen next weekend. But we still have one more match today. And that's going to be Piper versus Socrates. So, what do you two have to say right before we get into banning, how banning games and everything?
So I'm real excited to watch these bans because honestly, I have no idea what either one of them are going to ban against each other. They are fairly even across the board with one or two outliers. Like I expect maybe a Katamari ban to come out because Socrates smashed that with like a 33 or something.
I mean, like the 3 games I assume are going to be here, because just going off of my list, I think we're going to see Skyblazer, LADX, and Pilot Wings. Like those are the 3 games that are going to be
so
left
happy.
over.
That's literally my favorite line of the game. So I'm pretty happy with that.
I think those are the 3 like outside Doom outstanding. I think those are the 3 most varied games that we could have. Like you could throw Doom in there as well.
Yeah,
but like I don't think Doom is going to be picked. Just based off of like the time spreads.
Yeah, and a lot of people are just like Doom. Doom is a game where you can do a lot of things, but there's so much memory in order to know where to go in that game. Maybe a lot of people decided that the brain space was better spent doing something else. And as I'm looking at some of the runners' streams right now, I see one of them's practicing Skyblazers, and the other one is sitting on lesson 1 for Pilot Wings. So there might be some hopefulness there. As I guess we should get in on the bans pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm gonna prompt Piper gets our first ban, being the top seed here.
Yeah.
We're gonna see what Piper bans first. So just so you all know, there are 7 games to choose from. Piper is banning SMB2. Both players are going to get 2 bans, starting with the top seed, then going to the lower seed, then back to top seed, back to lower seed. And then the top seed selects the first game of the 3 that are remaining to be our race. And then the loser of that match or that race determines the second game.
Yeah, not surprising Piper banning Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh.
Socrates with the, oh man, I wanted to play that.
Yeah, no surprise there.
Yeah.
Not Piper's best race. And Socrates compared to Piper, just there's almost a 20-minute difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the craziest thing about Socrates is, one, they had literally never done any streaming or any speedrunning before this event. They used this as an excuse to get into it. They had a lot of fun with the whole event. And the other thing that's great is like their overall score, like their overall like point total is like 63. Like so there's a ban for Link's Awakening coming out soon
From Socrates,
yeah.
That is surprising to me, but
maybe they didn't go back over it. Oh, Pilot Wings is getting banned. What is this?
No. My predictions.
I mean,
The
Piper
predictions are
did
going
not
out the
have...
window.
Oh boy.
And all right, the Doom ban does not surprise me. Socrates has chosen his second ban as Doom.
Well,
we're literally
so we
getting
have the same 3 games as match 1. Let's heckin' go.
I did not I mean, they both did. I'm actually looking at Piper's time. Piper did really well in Katamari as well. Did they? Okay, no, they were 4th place. Socrates was 2nd. But yeah, well, that was unexpected.
Yeah, this. I'm gonna laugh really hard if we see Katamari and then CTR in the same order.
Can you just like roll back the audio from the previous match and hope that it syncs up well enough, and just like have us saying the names and bleep it over that with some buttons? I feel like that'll work. Okay, good. We're playing Skyblazer
We
first.
actually get Skyblazers. All right, Skyblazer, singular Skyblazer.
Well, there's gonna be 2 of them on screen, so it will be Skyblazers.
Oh, you know that? Fair enough. Oh boy.
Yeah, we can put a pause on replaying all of our previous audio.
I won't be surprised if SMB2 is continually banned, because that game, just in particular, is just hard. But
It's a hard game, yeah.
Not only is it hard, it is the game that is the furthest out of all of them.
yeah, I mean, if I were to pick a match that it could happen in, it would be LK versus Just Defend, because I'm looking at that. Just Defend had 100 points, and LK had 87 in that race. And like that was behind someone who had played the game like a lot before. So like it might happen there. St. Joe versus 1UP40 tomorrow, also very, very close times, I think. They had incredibly close SMP2 times. Actually,
Yeah,
I can check. I have it right here. If I click on it.
At this point, it looks like
that was
outside of like Pilot Wings, we're getting the earlier games. Or not earlier games, like you know what I mean when I say earlier.
Yeah. We're getting the games that were a little bit later in the season.
Yeah, so we're getting, and outside of like, these are probably easier to pick up. I think Skyblazers is a little bit harder to pick up, but like, compared to like the other games that are in the season, like SMB2 is really hard to go back to, especially after almost 3 months. Doom is like, well, as fun Doom is, it's a very technical and just, even though you can save pretty much throughout the entire game, it is difficult to do fast. And then LADX is just glitch heavy. And like Alpha, I know you know all about LADX because you did showcase it.
I showcased it. I've calmed it during like the last 3 GDQs in some form. I've been on this channel quite a bit talking about that game. It's always fun. There's always something new and stupid that someone has decided to do in that game. But we have Skyblazer. First stage, I like this stage. You just take a whole bunch of damage because you want to die at the end. It's kind of like Mega Man X. But
and there's a lot of technical things about this game.
Yeah, just like
from just those health management, especially MP management. MP management is going to be big. Yeah. Socrates doing the swag magic. Because this game saves inputs, so you can prep an input for certain cutscenes. That being one of them.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about this game, OmniGamer's tutorial that he did for Speed Seasons is absolutely phenomenal. He built an entire input viewer and hitbox display everything so that he could explain exactly how the frames of everything worked. It is one of the most condensed and informative tutorials that we had over the season, and it was shorter than the other most informative tutorial that we had, which is another reason why Doom might be a little hard to go back to. But this game is good, and here's a stage where we might see some variance. One player may go high, one player may go low. Or was that another one? No, I think it's
no. This is the high or low one.
Yeah, this is the high or low one. I just look at it. Some of the stages look a little similar. Oh, going for the 1UP, wasting some time there. But I appreciate it.
I also just want to quickly shout out just all of the expert runners, and yes, that includes you, Alpha, who showcased and did tutorials across the 15 weeks that the league part of the competition was open.
Yeah, it was phenomenal. I heard great feedback, and so there's an intentional damage boost there to skip past this guy. Gets the neat jump. The backup there from Socrates.
Well, Socrates is using the magic strat. You do need some magic in order to do the quick kill on the boss, and in order to do the skip.
Pop-Tarket not quite getting the fastest part there, but Socrates getting it. That's going to save that time they had for that little blunder. And
here's the first zip.
The zips in this game were fun. I liked them, and I like that both of them waited for these guys to get out of the way, and very quick for both of them.
Yeah, and let's see if they can get the quick kill. We're gonna see if they can get the quick kill here.
Looks good so far.
Look, I think both of them got it.
Yeah, and okay, I think Socrates is actually ahead now because of where they ended the screen. We're gonna see. This is okay, a little bit behind, but this is a very tight race. We're talking
very
about
close.
Like 5 seconds, and they both seem to have put some time into this game. I'm glad this is being showcased.
Yeah, if we go back to what their times were in the regular season, they both had very good times. Piper had a 31:13, and literally 2 minutes later, Socrates finished with a 33:13. So it's one of those, like, one bad death could put any one of them in the lead here.
And bad deaths are very easy to come by.
I think what will come down to is, like, because if both of them run perfectly, it'll be hard to say. But, like, I'm assuming one of them or both of them will mess up, at least probably the wind boss, because the wind boss, I think, is just or that or the water, like the water quick kill.
The sand stage, I think, is also pretty easy to if you try to be hyper aggressive on. That might cost some time. It also depends on how they get their magic manipulations, because there's basically always a counter that's running, and if you kill enemies on certain frames, you can get magic. And those are routed in, and there's some of them that actually have pretty nice setups to do, because it kind of starts up when you transition into a screen. So if you do a certain set of inputs, you got a couple frame window to get some magic. You'll get it.
Yeah, big thanks to OmniGamer for showing everyone how to do that.
Either of them are going to go for that one-up. They don't. But yeah, just going into that to reset this cycle. Bike platforms. And here is another zip. Now let's see how aggressively they take this. And okay, that's absolutely fair from Socrates, and that is a death. That was, I think Piper was trying to go for the whole thing, but didn't quite get it. And meanwhile, Socrates is being bullied at the top. This is not an easy room. This room is. Oh no! Oh.
This game, while not as punishing as some, like, as SMB2, like, it's just the movement in this game is so different than what you're regularly experiencing in, like, a platformer like Mega Man-esque.
Yeah.
Because you maintain your inertia when you land.
And okay, heading in there, grabbing. Oh, that's smart. Just re-entering that room to set their magic up better. I like that safety. I really like that.
Here's another
safety.
skip from Piper. Gets it pretty quickly. Now we just have another kind of auto-scrolly boss.
I mean, this is the auto-scroller boss. And good skip from Socrates. This is mode 7. He takes 1 damage from everything and occupies the mode 7 layer of the game. And yeah. Honestly, in my opinion, he was the hardest boss in the game. Just because I was bad at remembering to jump when I played this. I don't know, how'd you feel about this guy, Scrambles?
Like, I, for some reason, had a hard time dodging some of those shots he made. Like, I would punch him, and then somehow it would always track me and kill me. I just didn't understand why I couldn't dodge them. Yeah. But Piper showing how easy you can defeat this boss by just...
Yeah, so the first damage boost was just so they could get into the sprite. And oh no, there's Socrates nailing it better, but just had some hiccups.
Perfectly in the center.
Yeah, just had some hiccups with that one death we've seen.
And still, like, not very far behind.
So even this auto scroller at least has some speed tech. They're just going to be goofing off for quite some time, likely. But there are mines that show up eventually. They might take a bunch of time to grab these gems because 1-ups are you're not losing any time to get them, and it's safety because, I mean, worst case scenario, you go back to the last hut. And about now is probably when Piper is going to start lining up to hit the mine, the first mine that comes out.
Yeah, and the lower on the screen you are, the less you have to wait because it'll push you down. So you don't spend as much time in that death animation just falling. But getting enough lives.
Yeah, rocking 9 lives, 69 gems. Doc G sitting at 11 and 41.
Oh, Piper taking the listen to old man again button. So what happens when you mash too fast?
At least this one is not a very costly one. The other old men can waste some time. We'll see how aggressive they are if they land their magic manipulations. There are a few in this stage.
Yeah, this
and gets it.
The ice level is a little bit easier to get the magic manipulation on.
Yeah, just buffered that crescent and then got the full magic.
Yeah, some of the other manipulations, which are a little bit harder to get down, since they don't take place right at the beginning of the stage.
I think the room, give the magic manipulation of the room that Piper just went across. I like that one because you just had to do a very specific buffer, but if you weren't doing the magic at the end of that other room, there's no reason to go for it. It doesn't save as much time as the other one does, so I can respect it.
These rooms that Piper is on, I thought were some of the hardest rooms in the game, and Socrates is also on them.
The Crushers are some of the most aggressive hitboxes ever. Do not try to be faster than it. You are not. Do not try to be smarter than it. You are not.
And you can't even boost through, because you can see a lot of the magic that they're using, and they're going to be using it here to basically quick kill this boss, the dash magic. You can't even use that because you need all of your magic in order to beat this guy as fast as possible.
Yeah. Basically, they're not even using his weakness, so to speak. Bosses do have weaknesses, but that's just because you can hit more with the meteor dash.
Yeah, and despite that unfortunate death that Socrates has, only behind by about 10 seconds.
Yeah, not very far behind at all.
And if the final boss has anything to say about anything, can easily change how this race goes.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. This stage is also kind of rough, as I believe Piper's taking the less aggressive strategy.
Yeah, that one, we'll see how Socrates fares.
He's taking a very aggressive strategy. And then this guy is just deciding to not let him progress. These blobs, the one thing that it's unique in the game, they can hit you out of your meteor dash, and it's the only thing in the game that can do that. But dying is bad because it sets your magic lower than where you want it, and this stage is going very poorly. Socrates.
And there's more magic manipulation on Piper's screen. Piper getting it easily, has the magic that they need. And provided that they can get the quick kill on this boss, they will be sitting in a pretty good lead.
Yeah, this boss can go horribly wrong. So we will see how this goes. It does hit all of them. And this is
okay, so they're gonna get their they're gonna get the quick kill. It's the first Omni shot that is the hard one. Because if you don't hit it perfectly, you're gonna hit the things that are shooting out of it, or you're just gonna miss completely.
Yeah. There was a death from Socrates, but I'm almost certain that it was to reset their magic because they do need some magic because they have to dash through these water currents.
I mean, that's the backup things I think I was mentioning a little bit earlier, like knowing that you can intentionally take a death to refill your magic at least halfway. So at least knowing how to do strats with half magic could be the deciding factor.
Whew. And going for the zip here, Piper getting through that stage very cleanly. That is not an easy stage to do that fast.
I want to say that's one of the second. It's a difficult manipulation to get down. The hardest one will be coming up after this stage.
I just didn't like this stage. Probably my least favorite stage. And Socrates also appears to be getting, they got the first shot off and they seem to be doing pretty good. So, no fish boss problems currently, although that doesn't, you know, always hold well for the future.
Yeah, because you do have to do, there is the boss rush at the end.
Yeah. And I
where
feel
I
like,
honestly think,
yeah,
honestly, doing Phoenix, like, when, we'll get to that when we get there.
yeah. But, so, there's a way to manipulate getting magic. Missed the first one, but I feel like you can still get lucky, and that was okay. Got the bat. I didn't think that bat was on the right time there.
Well, get some magic.
Yeah, because the idea of doing the stages in the particular order that Piper is doing it in is so that you can go into the wind boss, the Temple of Wind, with full magic meter, which really, really simplifies the stage. As Socrates setting up another zip, trying to get in, does not want to deal with the stage correctly because it is kind of a pain. It is a frame perfect trick, but you get basically a million retries at it, except for one of them where Dragafant, that'll be curious to see if we have any problems with the Dragafant stage and the boss itself. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
I honestly think I never remember any of the boss's names, so I apologize. But the wind boss here, I think, is also a problem if you don't get it first try.
Yeah, I think that if you don't get it, you start with more magic than you would have entering that room, and the backups for it are pretty cozy. So that's good. And Piper going very well through this room. Has a weird amount of magic. 3. You know, you just see that. And okay, maybe depends on how many more kicks, and no. So we'll probably see a backup strategy here because you have 4 magic instead of just the 1 shot.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This boss can get rough if you don't.
Did find the right one though, but he is negative iframes. Effectively, it's pretty bad. And there we go.
Yep, there we go. Okay.
Yeah, gets the backup 3rd try. I think Dragafant can go worse, but that may only be when you're trying to go very fast.
I mean, Dragafant has a consistent, like, slow strat.
Yeah.
With just punching. So I won't assume our racers will have an issue with just getting the Dragafant kill.
Yeah, but they might go for the risky Dragafant kill, which, I mean, that's the one I want to see.
I mean, seeing how well these players are going right now, I don't doubt that we won't see it.
Or the lava part. That'll be spicy if they get the lava zip. And Socrates took a bit of a dip. Magic is in a weird spot now. Doesn't have any. I think might just run straight off the edge.
That's what I would. Yep.
Yep. Not even. No questioning, just doing.
All right, we'll see if Piper goes for it. Piper's opting to do the magic manip instead of the under lava zip.
Okay, so Socrates gets it. Wasn't the cleanest. Did crouch punch him on the face, but it worked.
So Socrates making up a little bit of time back with that.
That was unfortunate. Didn't get the magic hit on the first one. Might. Oh.
Didn't get it on the second one either.
Yeah, it is a bit of a tight input. But yeah, going for the fastest kill on Dragafant.
Apples. Yeah, apples all day.
I think needs one more kick after this because they missed that, but should just take the slow cycle there. There we go. Nice and easy Dragafin fight. It's got a good name, Dragafin. Tells you exactly what it is, a dragon elephant.
A little bit of a route difference. So Socrates actually didn't do the magic manip.
I thought Socrates already did this stage, but maybe I'm just misremembering. So, easy stage for Piper. Just goes into a secret tree and leaves.
And now for another hard skip. Let's see if they actually go for the hard zip here.
I expect them to. Whether or not they use Warrior Force to do it is a different question. Tries not to. And okay, sure.
Wow.
That was nifty, and tries to go for the super swag climb there. That does save time. It is very hard. Not really losing too much time, but I've never seen, if they didn't get that Warrior Force, those ninjas did his health bar and damage. And I can't believe he got it in the middle of the zip.
What is Piper doing right now? I know they're trying to like clip into the wall.
Yeah,
I think they're.
It's the one crusher that you can zip up into and save a couple of seconds, and just did it a couple times.
Yeah, realizing that they're not getting it. Oh, oof, that crusher almost got him.
It's not the hardest thing in the world, but definitely going for it more than maybe like twice. I don't think you save any time.
I mean, there's a bit of stubbornness with this, like, I need to do it this way.
Yeah, especially considering, like, you're just respawning right there, you know, you might as well. And, okay, heads back down, could not get past the goo guy right here. Oh, no. Oh, okay, I thought they were alive for some reason. That would have been weird.
I mean, I would have been surprised.
I was just like, wait, why did they like, accidentally climb into the wall? Okay. Nice and fast.
Gets it that time. But this is time that Socrates is making up. Oh, Socrates is entering Dragafin with...
Oh, no!
Just takes...
You're seeing a lot of punches.
Yeah, Socrates going for the safe slow strat on Dragafin.
Yeah. Yeah, basically Dragafin has 3 attacks that he can do. Short, medium, long. Short shoots apples. It's the quickest one that you can just hit him immediately. There's the jumping one, which is medium. It's incredibly safe all the time to just deal with it. And okay, Piper's finally through this room, barring something terrible happening.
Yeah, but lost a lot of time on that crusher room.
I mean, at least Socrates had that much time to lose.
Mm-hmm.
They did 2 punches there, and that was to get that magic. And these guys are if you get hit, you're basically dying.
Yeah, I want to say they do like 5 damage, maybe 6.
Yeah, I think they do 4. And another minute right there. I don't remember that one in the tutorial, but those or maybe that wasn't even a manip. It was just how to clear that guy out, because they basically every sprite they have has a chance of dropping it. And those guys have a ton of sprites, so you basically have 5 individual chances to get through. As long as you got the mana for Warrior Force, which should set him up. Gotta do the jump kick, and we're hoping to see him not leave the screen. And there we go, very fast. Good fight. Did miss
but
some Warrior
Socrates-
Force kicks, which cost some time, but not too much.
Socrates only about a minute behind now.
Yeah, and the wind boss is still rude. Oh, bonks.
Yeah, Piper heading into the final boss rush after this auto scroller.
Yep.
Which technically feeds into another auto scroller, but
I mean, if you're going as fast as possible, isn't every video game an auto scroller?
no comment.
Well, yeah, let's see Socrates' dragon fight. Oh no, that's gonna be costly. Not that it makes the boss harder, but just slower. Because you're supposed to take the hit and buffer Warrior Force. I think it's buffered Warrior Force a little too early.
Yeah, now just has to kick for twice as many the amount. Still making up a little bit of time, though.
Yeah, it still wasn't the worst fight in the world, that's for sure. And again, this stage can go poorly. You can miss a jump and not be in a great spot. You do have Phoenix to bail you out twice. Especially considering magic isn't like the most important thing in the world right now.
You only need one of them. You only need one Phoenix in order to completely destroy the first boss again.
Yeah. And not having the magic is not the worst thing in the world, because you can basically quick kill him with just, or well, you can just, I guess, slow kill him by just kicking him in the face until you're winning.
Like, the big thing will be, can they Phoenix the water boss again?
Phoenixing the, yeah, just, because that fight is just weird. That fight is hard. And the timings on some of these are very precise. But yeah, and you know, if they can you know, not get bored while fighting mode 7. Takes 1 damage from everything, because you gotta know how to use mode 7. Not boosting across that room. Curious, you could have saved time there. As we were going up and over.
Piper showing that spin to win is not a strat that always wins. Because you can just punch it right in the eye.
Yeah, maybe just don't open up your only weak point and be invincible. Maybe that's a better strategy. I like that little adaptation from Socrates when they were doing the Phoenix. They were a bit high, so they dropped back down so that when they came out of Phoenix, they would re-grab. Just so they didn't instantly lose all control over their character. Entering the refights, this is still anybody's race. It's still very close, because I think a single death is about the difference, but most of these bosses aren't really going to stop them.
Yeah, especially with Phoenix, because Phoenix just absolutely destroys every one of these bosses.
Yeah.
Outside of the final boss.
Yeah, that can cost a lot of time, for sure.
Yeah, one missed input on the final boss.
Phoenixing this boss is also very tight and gets it.
So just 3 bosses left. Got the Dragafint refight, Final Boss Part 1, and then Final Boss Part 2.
It does have to fight Dragonfin for a little bit longer because they did miss a Phoenix hit. But that's just one more combo. That's just show how much damage Phoenix does. That you needed 2 whole more kick combos to make the damage of a single Phoenix.
Yeah, I want to say like it does either 4 or 8. I can't remember the. I knew it was some multiple.
I think you need one
of
more kick combo, but this fight can go very poorly. You have to use Phoenix to start it.
And if you mess up, you only get 1 Phoenix. But it looks like, yeah, it looks like Piper's got him.
There you go. Now it's final boss time.
Final boss can be very unforgiving if you miss an input or don't damage boost correctly.
Yeah, this fight, if we're talking about why Peak Pal's the #1 seed and LK is #2 seed, this fight basically happened. And does not look like Socrates is going to Phoenix this room correctly, which is unfortunate because these guys suck. Oh, only has 1 left though, so not the worst in the world. But
yeah, it has
still
to kick kill.
Sucks. Because I think he missed this guy twice, which is very unfortunate. And right now,
Piper
just
intentionally getting the full magic.
Yeah, it gives you a couple more things. Everything does no damage to this guy, but when you have the full magic bar, you have a lot more wiggle room to heal with.
Yeah, and it looks pretty smooth. I think Piper's
did skip 1 laser, so that's easy. I don't think you have to skip anything. You just take all the damage you want in the world. That was a much faster fight for Socrates on to Dragonfin. Just Phoenixed him down.
Yeah, but it's a little too late for Socrates.
Yeah,
looks like Piper has got
this. Yeah, Piper has cleared. Socrates is very close though. Yeah,
that was a really close race.
Yeah, we'll see this probably finish up.
Yeah. Looks like both of them will be improving their regular season time, but
ooh, what a fast kill on that. Yeah, it was just that one bad death or a couple bad deaths.
It was the water the level before the water level.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just know it's the level with the slimes. It's the bridge level with the slimes. They are the worst enemy in the game because you can't just dash through them. I hate it. Makes me sad. I just look at this part of the game, you know, the title screen, and I kind of want to go play Demon's Crest. It's a good game. Would recommend people. If you have Switch Online, it's there. And yep, an intentional death here as well. But so far good. I know, and I'm just gonna say this because I watched Socrates play CTR. The strats Socrates used in CTR are very different from what we just saw recently. And the Katamari strats are also very much more aggressive. So, despite seeing the same games again, I think we are kind of in for a little bit of a treat.
Yeah, since Socrates lost game 1 or race 1, it is his choice for game 2.
And that is the finish from Socrates.
Yeah, GG's to both of them. Like, that was not, for like, being a few weeks removed from the game, like, that was not necessarily, like, a like, bad race by any means. Like, that was actually a pretty close race.
Yeah, that was a very close race.
Still, oddly enough, the 2-minute gap that was in their regular season difference almost exactly there in this race.
All right. So
it looks like Socrates has selected ball game Katamari Damacy as the next game, with both Socrates and Piper yelling ball and bear.
Very, very fun with that. Runners are going fast today.
Runners are going fast. faster than I expected, given like CTR and Pilot Wings being the most recent games for the runners. I did not expect games like Skyblazer or Katamari to go as quickly as they have been up to this point.
No, and I think we might be going to the third game on this one. Socrates had very good Katamari run. Piper also had a very good Katamari run. I'm rooting for more games because I want to. There's definitely more stuff to talk about for CTR.
Yeah, the regular season run, Socrates did take a 41.53 versus Piper's 45.05. So like a 3-minute gap between them in this one. And this was Socrates' best game.
Yeah, this was not. Yeah, only losing to a guy who woke up literally to farm that game and then went immediately back to bed. But you can't expect someone to get a 30-minute time in 2 weeks of Katamari, but maybe they've had more time. Maybe that's all they played in their off time was Katamari.
I mean, but Piper could have also been practicing this because they did not ban this game despite knowing how well Socrates did.
I think, and this is where I'm based on the bans that Piper threw out. Where they banned Pilot Wings because that game Socrates did pretty good in. I just think Piper just didn't want any more part of that. And SMB2, I have a feeling it was I'm taking away the 2 games I'm going to lose in, and then Katamari is up because Piper has a shot about that, but like had no confidence in Pilot Wings or SMB2. And then Socrates banned out the stuff that maybe they didn't go back to because it would have taken more effort than to learn the other 5 games or keep them up because at least with Doom, ton of memory stuff going on there. That game is super deep. If you want to watch a 5-hour tutorial that Dime put on, would recommend.
I mean, Doom has so many small things that you need to know in order to adapt to the things that are happening to you. So it is understandable why Doom is banned, though I would like to see Doom at least once.
I would like to see it. I think I'm looking at the matchups. I'm like, LK versus JD, I feel like it's only getting banned if they don't want to play it because neither of them like did phenomenally in it. And I know LK, at least in season 2, went and learned a lot of the games that he didn't play. And like if it worked with him, then, or if he liked it, we'll see it. Otherwise, he's just going to ban it. Because I don't think he cares, or even JD cares terribly too much about what they end up playing. Just based on their feedback forms. Okay, but I think we are ready to go for the next race. This is going to kick off very soon.
And we are starting, I believe.
Yeah, so lots of much skill here. We feel bested. I love the tutorial for this game. You just push buttons until you're out of it.
So if you're here an hour and a half ago, you may be wondering, why are we still playing Katamari? Well, these are 2 different racers.
And both of them are likely going to play this game significantly more aggressively than... doesn't quite bounce over to that corner with the cookies. Whereas Socrates nails it. That's how that looks. That was really good. This is going to be like before it was, well, that was like some of their lesser games or whatever, so we went with Katamari. These 2 did really well in Katamari, so it's going to be like a whole different level because you can already see how much more aggressively they're both playing. With Piper off to an early lead.
We're definitely going to see a lot more boosts and a lot more just quick movement in this one.
Yeah, and I'm a bit excited for it, especially if they had played the game more, which they very much might have. So this is gonna be pretty fun. Because I feel like they could have at least cut 5 minutes a piece from their times, given the fact that this was a month and a half ago. If maybe they, maybe you do a speed run. Maybe that's how you keep up your skills. Is like once a week you just run all the games. Doesn't take you more than let's call it 3 hours at the very end. Maybe that's how you keep everything fresh. Maybe that's a good strategy. Set aside 3 weeks, just run everything you've learned, unless you've just decided you're banning that game.
Honestly, you could just do a different speed run every day after practicing that next week's speed run, just to keep your brain fresh.
Just to keep a cooldown. Yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of ways you can approach it. When I did it, I approached when I was competing in 2. I approached it from the I'm just gonna play the video game, and then I forgot to show up for one of the races, and I got sad. Still made playoffs. Still lost terribly to the #1 seed. It's fine.
But yeah, we can already see just how much boosting is happening.
Yeah, I don't dislike the lack of boosting here, because if you miss the boost at the start of this stage, it goes very poorly for you, because you have to hit a size threshold to get these candies. And if you miss the gum, it's just over. But I expect to see some boosts from Socrates basically right now, and there we go.
Yeah, and the fact that Socrates is able to maintain that boost for a lot longer than normal, it is not easy to do that.
Yeah, it's like you let go of controls, you do certain things, you constantly do all these inputs. There's like a hidden boost meter. They're taking the more aggressive path. They're going the left way around because they know their size, and they get less socks, but they should just be finishing up. And goes in rather than finishing off of the shoe, finishes off of some magnets.
Socrates taking a bad bounce.
Yeah, getting a bad bounce, missing the knives. Might, based off of where they think their size threshold is, pick up some additional socks. But we will have to see. Into the tomatoes they go. And there's the clear. Much closer race this time. They head to Make a Star 3. So these are very, very small differences as of right now.
Yeah, and even just like comparing this race to the Pika Pal and Pop-Tart Cat race, like you can just see all the small minor differences, like from the increased boosting to even right there, Piper switching directions mid-boost.
Yeah, that was real clean. They knew exactly where they needed to line up to pick up. Oh, they didn't quite get that. They need that eggplant. The eggplant's very important.
It's just the small optimizations are what will really define how this race goes for the racers.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Socrates taking a little bit more time though. Like,
yeah,
you can see that he's taking his time a little bit more. I don't know how.
He was a little short on the size for the eggplant, so cut back in order to get it. And we'll see how this ends up going. There's still a lot of race in this game left. Only 6 centimeters separating them currently.
Yeah, it's not a very big gap at all.
No.
And again, with how the later stages go, like one bad bounce,
Need speed,
especially with
29 here. And,
yeah, especially with Go ahead, Alpha.
Oh no, he just hit a dog bowl and was unfortunate.
Yeah, especially with how Megastar 4 will go. If they both get that bounce. Oh, and Piper's a little short. Doesn't go for the fence, but heads back.
Yeah, did pick up the right things. Socrates right on his tail. Neither of them got lucky with the crab bucket RNG, but you know.
Mom.
I mean, still Piper maintaining a little bit like a 15, 20-second lead.
Yeah, we're rooting for Socrates just so we get more games, or at least I am, because I want to see more games. I don't want every match to be a clean 2-0. That's not as fun. But this will be interesting to see if either of them go for this boost. It's very fast, getting to the right size. I think they want to be at about what is it, 10-ish something, and then just throw yourself off as hard as you can. And doesn't quite get it, but is able to roll out there.
There was a slight moment where I saw Piper dip, and I was scared for a moment.
Yeah, their Katamari was round enough, but getting all of those watermelon slices very cleanly. Here's the cutscene. Let's see how Socrates goes for it. Lines up and bounce and is down there. Doesn't quite get it, but still gets 2 ping pong balls. Still okay. Nobody getting it. Not an easy trick on the PS2 version for sure.
Yeah, nobody getting the unfortunate trapped between the two, which is always good. Yeah, Piper cleanly doing the next part. Jumping over the middle, collecting all the things. See if Socrates is able to make this clean jump. Doesn't get the birds, but...
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky birds.
I think Socrates is actually taking a little bit more time. Like, they're not boosting as much as anticipated.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that Socrates expected this to be banned every time, so didn't practice it as much, and maybe that's why Piper left it open, because they practiced it a bunch, expecting Socrates to maybe have been lax on practice. That is strategy for banning games.
It is a bold strategy. But Piper does now have a little bit of a lead now.
Yeah. And Socrates is grabbing all sorts of items.
Oh, definitely ending 4 a lot slower than...
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely lost some time, but...
That just might be just forgetting the routing.
Yeah, no, it gets the mousetrap boost for Piper. That saves some time, and oh, there's some camera going on there.
Camera's been a lot of fun in this race.
Yeah, that was just an unfortunate hitting a size threshold while like also stuttering between things made it really wonky.
Yeah, Piper hitting almost the halfway point on 5.
Yeah, definitely starting to run away with this a little bit. As, okay, grabs that last cherry, goes for the boost on Socrates' side. Picks up a bunch of takoyaki.
We'll see if Piper can get a strike here.
You want it. That girl is making it real hard. Doesn't quite get it.
Leaves a 7. Probably not going to go back for the spare. Oh, but Cart Lady, vicious. Cart Lady is probably one of the main antagonists of this game for speedrunners. Just being in the way again.
Yeah, she is not being a nice person at all. And going for the, let's see if they get the under the bridge pickup. Don't think they quite got what they wanted.
Yeah, I think they kind of just rolled past it and didn't actually get the under bridge lamp. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that's what it looks like. Having some hard time even getting up the pavilion there.
Yeah. This is usually when you're about here, you're basically done with the stage. Like, you just end it immediately. So there's some time lost there from Piper. We'll see if Socrates can take advantage of that. He's heading into the shopping area. This can go very quickly.
We'll see how well Socrates can do on their bowling shot.
It doesn't look like a girl's on the way this time, as I see her slowly move over there.
Left a split, but
I can't, not quite big enough to get those buckets. That's not great.
oh yeah, they're definitely a lot smaller than they need to be.
Yeah, they need to be much bigger than this. They've missed a lot of size. They went there to grab some size, and they're heading back to grab the items that they needed before heading back down that path, I think. Meanwhile, Piper going very cleanly.
Yep. They need about 98, I believe.
Yeah, they need like one more.
Yeah, it seems
Socrates
like
got the ceiling lights.
yeah, it seems interesting that Piper seems almost to be running away with this at this point.
Yeah, is definitely been being more aggressive. I think put the time in, like decided that this was a game that they wanted to play, or weren't sure what maybe they strategized around learning games that they just were definitely gonna ban. You know, you ban away the games that arguably require the most in-game knowledge, other than, or you ban away the games that are just like, I can't execute this. So you've learned all the other games. You know, if you take away Pilot Wings and SMB2, which execution-wise, in terms of how much you're doing,
Yeah, like this game isn't as technical. It's just it's knowledge-based versus technical-based.
Yeah.
So it's like, as long as you know where you need to go, like you can easily do it. The only technical thing is just getting the boosts. And then once you have a feel for that, almost just like Crash Team Racing, like if you get the feel for how to drift boost and how to maintain that speed, the rest of the game is just easy inputs. Versus a game like Super Mario 2, which is just like just technical in a way that is just punishing.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm not even saying that like Socrates or like that Piper or like Socrates is doing poorly. As I just watched those bushes grow out of nowhere because of the size change. that was a bit silly looking. But like Piper is on Megastar 7 at like 16 minutes, and that's really good time.
Yeah, it's obviously the practice has been put in.
Yeah, like
Wait,
this is.
did he do bear? I missed
he's
bear.
done with bear. He got a bear. It was there. It may have been world record bear. I don't know. I looked away and then bear was over. So I mean that's how bear. This car is just being so rude.
Excuse me, pardon me.
Yeah, it's just like I'm just driving on the grass here.
I'm driving here.
Does not like bananas. The car was just like, you cannot have them.
I'm just. Oh, that was such a good boost.
Oh,
I mean,
the
it
panda.
smashed into a panda, but I loved that boost. There's a rude rocket-powered swan boat. You can tell it's military grade because of the rocket booster. And oh, bonks off of a rock, but still manages to avoid the rude swan.
Oh, isn't big enough for the kids.
Ooh, wow. It's like maybe Socrates isn't playing any slower. Piper's just playing way faster than was expected.
And that's just the strategy behind like the bans, as we're saying. Like, obviously Piper probably picked like, I am picking these 4 games that I know I can do well in, or at least I know I can practice and get down. At least that's my assumption.
Yeah, and like if Socrates didn't practice Katamari because thought it was getting banned, that's gonna be a curious one.
Okay, now Piper's big enough for those bushes. Like, Piper is just like a little smaller than he needs to be at this point.
And Socrates forget. Okay, Socrates taking the long way to make Star 7. Just still a baby, 3 meters in size. A little stuck on these rocks. They're not in an ideal location.
I'm trying to get vengeance on the car, but the car is still too big for
the
Piper.
car is too strong. Needs to get a little bit bigger. Those bikers weren't quite where he wanted them to be, but gets them there. Losing a little bit of size due to some bonks, but is otherwise doing A-okay.
Yeah, it has... Oh, big boost there.
Oh man, and knew how to navigate those trees to grab everything and should be ending
Yeah, collecting these rocks.
right on this fishbowl pretty soon. Defeats the swan boat. This on Socrates' screen. Has just seen it for the first time. And right on the fishbowl,
Finishes
right after
7,
the
yeah.
fishbowl. What a nice Katamari. For sure.
I mean,
Yeah, with the way
can't wait to
Piper's
see.
playing, this is crazy
Yeah.
good. Like unless Socrates really picks up the pace, but again, I think
Like
the way that Piper's on pace for like a 30, like 5.
Maybe I would say like a 38, I think. Because I think it'll take about 6 or 7 minutes on this level. It
depends.
Make a Moon is so long.
Yeah, but I think it's like
takes
that's
so
an
long.
8 to 10 minute level or whatever. But I guess I'm also factoring loading screens, so yeah, maybe a 38. Piper knows the exact size threshold they need to hit with this stuff right now.
Yeah, 14, I believe. And then just a lot of Piper's movements have been very smooth with just the reversing and boosting.
Yep, and then the flips. We didn't see a lot of flips for Pika Pals and Popstar Cat.
Yeah, Piper is just
the wall
like
bounce flip
aggressively
into
flipping.
a boost. It's so smooth looking.
Like Piper clearly put the time in with, and I think that was just like the tactical matchup thing. As you were saying, like Piper knew that this was Socrates' best game and made the assumption that Socrates probably wasn't going to put as much practice time into it. And with the gap only being about 3-4 minutes, Piper's like, I can probably make up that time if I practice.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Like, I think they both easily could have shaved 5 minutes if they practiced this game consistently. Boy, this is going by nice and quick. Let's go to some of these notes that I have on these players. So, what did Piper say about Katamari? And this is important. I now sometimes look outside and wonder how big of a Katamari I would need to pick up various objects. It feels like I'm watching a totally different game when I watch other people's runs of this game. So I think he's just had Katamari on the brain the entire time, and is maybe just, just lost in the Katamari, has been consumed by it. It's showing a little bit as he's crushing this game. Meanwhile, on Socrates, and I'm just reading this out. It says ball. That's the end of the notes.
Nice.
It just says ball.
I mean, like with speed seasons, you never know what games are actually going to click with you. Like,
Yeah.
I will say, like, I wouldn't have told you in a million years that like Pilot Wings would have been a game that I actually enjoyed. Speedrunning. There's a pause there, intentional pause. But like, I actually enjoyed learning that a lot. And like,
I was gonna say, I know at the start of the event, I was a little surprised you went as hard as you did, because at the start you were just like, I'll do this. Yeah, sure, maybe I'll play this. Like, you just kept going. It just didn't stop. And then you were in too deep, and now you're here.
I was in too deep. That's story of my life. Just like getting involved in something and realizing, oh, now I own this. Oh no. But like I would say, just when I started this, I did not consider myself a speedrunner. I just a casual player who likes to go fast sometimes. But just like some of the games did not click with me. Some of them did. And it was just a lot of fun just kind of getting into it and then just seeing how everybody else is able to take a lot of the strats. And then as we can see, it just culminates into just like, how well can you retain that knowledge?
I just want to give a big shout out to Piper not being able to pick up a policeman, but being able to pick up two people holding up a third person on a chair.
That weird thing where like the middle person is small enough for you to pick up. Like,
yeah, but he's able to pick up the two people carrying, but not the policeman. The policeman was too big.
There's so many weird quirks about Katamari that it's just fun to see how the racers here can use them to their advantage.
Not even just in how the game is played, just the game in general is probably the strangest game. It's just so weird. Everything going on in it is just insane. Piper missing some size. Meanwhile, Socrates has moved on to Megastar 8, but is quite a bit behind. If I'm looking at the timers correctly, about 3 minutes. So...
Yeah, Piper also having a little bit of trouble, like getting the size they need to vault up this. So they actually have to take the slow wall.
So I will say this: when a lot of the players were able to get crazy good Megastar 1 through 5s, but it could be that Piper had a crazy good Megastar like 1 through 7 or whatever, and just 8 through 9 just did not click correctly. And it's possible we could see a large amount of time loss here that Socrates could make up.
It is possible, yes.
Because it's almost like you're playing two different games. One of them is a long con, the other one is these short bursts of just perfectly precise movement. This one, there's a lot of routing and remembering where to go and making sure that you pick up things in the right spot so that you can move your Katamari in a certain manner.
Yeah, and we aren't at. Did we just finish 8 or did we finish 7?
I'm blanking. I think
we'll watch on Piper right now. I think we're heading to. Oh, we're at 9. We're at 9.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 8, unless I'm mistaken. But
I mean, I just watched this game raced like literally an hour ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of same at the end, but going for a little bit of safety, grabbing everything up top.
Gets a good bounce. The dogs aren't in the way, but
dogs aren't in the way, but went a little too
now
far.
They are.
And
now they're
bully. Get some extra meat though. It's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, Socrates making their way back through the alleyway one more time. It'll be interesting to see if, like, especially in the semifinals, because they're only going to have a week to prepare.
Yeah, what they're gonna refresh it on. I didn't expand the race format because 5 games is hard. Also, I like the number of bands. I can't exactly change the event now to announce 2 more games that they have to learn within a week, and they're available for finals. I'll just drop. We'll drop streamers on them because I like dropping streamers on people.
We're gonna wizard them and like reveal a whole new game that they have to play.
I'm just gonna make them play Princess Remedy and Ninja 5-0. If half the runners already know those games anyway, so it's fine.
Throwback.
Yeah, that's a throwback. If the only downside is neither Piper nor Socrates know those games, whereas everybody else remaining in our top 8, I guess not 1 of 40, but they know it. Those are season 2. Our holdouts from then. LK, Just Defend, Pika Pals, and St. Joe. And everybody wants to race some Ninja. Ninja's a great game. It's impossible, but like it's a lot of fun.
It is impossible, but very fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame I couldn't find a viable grapple game to put into this event without just putting Ninja in again.
But yeah, Piper cleaning up on 9, getting the fences. I think they're a little smaller than they want to be right now.
Yeah, I think you're right about that 38 time. Might be a low 40, but yeah.
Yeah, I think Piper's a little smaller than what they want to be.
Yeah, they want to be.
But they should be able to make it up.
But now they just bumped into a couple other things. Worked out.
Yeah, there's enough cars in those walls. We'll be able to at least pick them up.
Yeah, completely forgot about picking up the walls because you have to be at 6 to get the cars.
Yeah, not big enough for the palm trees though. They could go down the little ramp to get those signs. Now they're big enough for the palm trees. Yeah, some aggressive boosting though on Piper's part.
Yeah, I just think they came down here way too early.
Socrates just hasn't been as aggressively boosting. I mean, their time is still great, though.
Yeah, and the end of this level for Piper is going very shakily.
Okay, they have the size that they need now. They can get the trees, and then they can head back to the starting area. Oh, that's right. They have to get the
They gotta
the
grab
chimneys.
Yeah. I mean, grab these buildings, but you gotta get them in the right order or you won't be able to pick them up. Just the happy screams of people about to be exploded into a star.
I mean, it's everyone's dream to be a star.
I don't think this kind.
They should have been more specific.
You know, fair enough. There's some monkey's paw for everybody. They wish
Always
to be a star. Well, oh no.
Always be specific with your wishes. Oh, but this is, yeah, so this is the trouble. Like, getting up here is not easy. And Piper doesn't opt to get the fish sign.
They're losing size too. That's a bit rough. Slow roll.
Okay, well, they got up there.
Yeah, I think just based on the execution.
Oh, and they fell off.
If their Make a Moon is as shaky as this, I mean,
Socrates has a good chance to catch up then
Yeah.
and actually take the win if this is how Piper is playing the final
because
level.
Piper lost a ton of time on that stage. Definitely has the early stuff down 100%. Like, the early stuff they were great on, but it was just the end game was not looking so good.
Yeah, but it almost might be a little too late though.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on how shaky Make a Star 10 goes, or Make the Moon.
And how like consistent Socrates can go. Piper taking his time.
Yeah, you don't want to
not
reset
wanting
a
to
stage,
fall off.
because you need all of those. And meanwhile, Socrates is just stuck on something.
Yeah, see, sometimes just like the game does not want you to climb the walls, like, 'cause there's something
I
a
think
part
what's
of
happening is one of their rocks is clipping part of the gas station, and it's just bonking them, so they've rolled themselves up better into a ball. Yeah, it makes me think that they just had a bad single piece that was bonking, and that was just unfortunate.
Oh, and now Socrates is just stuck.
Yeah, the path they want, because they had to spend so much time. The elephant was in a weird spot. Everything in this game is on cycles, and I think this is probably too much at this point. If Piper has this stage down to a science, not sure yet.
I mean, as soon as Piper gets past like the 17, 18 mark, I think it'll just be too late. Like, Piper optimized those beginning levels so much that they could just take their time on these final levels.
Yeah.
And like, the secret thing about this too is it's like doing this also showcases, because like so they're like, the winners of this aren't playing Pika Pals.
No.
Like in the next round.
But,
but you do get the knowledge of like, okay, so my time in this was either better or worse than Pika Pals.
Yeah, and honestly, it's going to be close, because while Pika Pals didn't have as good of an early game as Piper, had a much better late game. as it stands. And their times are gonna be close. What did Peak Pals had? He had like a 40 something.
I want to say it was like a 41-35 or
Yeah,
something like
that's
that.
about what if Piper does this level as fast as Peak Pals did. It's about the same. But Piper would have had like a couple minute lead going into the last 3 stages, and then definitely took a couple hits on Make Star 9. But that won't matter until finals or the bronze match. But you know, winning today means you got to play more games, and you know, someone might just decide you can't play the other games. They're not gonna ban them.
Yeah, it's good knowledge to have, though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Socrates finally getting to the end of 9. I didn't see if they had too much of a struggle getting up here, but seemed to be at a smaller size than normal.
Yeah, I think they lost some size. They're definitely missing something that they just didn't pick up because they're just missing like the smallest amount. But that's just such a tremendous time difference right now. Was not expecting anywhere near the runaway-ish at the start.
I mean, that's
Well, you know.
that's just like knowing your opponent, knowing just like game theorying it.
Yeah, at least we've seen 3 games. If I were to pick a game we probably won't see, it might be Doom. But you know,
I mean, I also don't think we're gonna see Pilot Wings.
yeah, I mean, well, I think we might see Pilot Wings. It just depends on who's racing who. I think Pika Pals are gonna ban Pilot Wings every time, and I
feel like,
know
yeah, 'cause
a couple other people might ban Pilot Wings every time.
I mean, I think the only 2 people who probably won't ban Pilot Wings would be 1UP and maybe LK.
Yeah, of who's left, because the people who are good at Pilot Wings are really good
The
at
people who
Pilot
are good
Wings.
at Pilot Wings were the ones who needed to be good at Pilot Wings in order to guarantee their bracket.
Yeah. I mean, JD may have picked up Pilot Wings. JD showed up to that race having played the game for like 2 hours, so he knew he just had to show up to the race to make it to bracket, so it was a little different than everybody else.
Yeah, now Piper pretty much on like the last leg, getting the buildings on the islands.
So was the fun part of this. Definitely had a better 10. Maybe it was just something was going wrong with them in 8. Or 9. 9 just didn't go well.
Yeah, but it's looking like Piper.
Falls off the bridge. Into the drink.
It looks like Piper will be punching his ticket into the semifinals, provided that nothing really goes wrong.
Yeah, I don't foresee any of that happening. Pick up some whirlpools. I'm really surprised whirlpools add mass, considering, you know, I guess technically they're just devoid of it, or just, you know, sometimes a rock in the middle of a current.
I just like how it's just basically like a spinning top.
Yeah.
Is what the whirlpool is.
We are boosting along. Yeah, Socrates is like, okay, probably get like a 44 or something. And Piper is...
It's almost like they're swapping their times from the
Yeah.
regular race.
More or less, yeah. It's like, here's the end right up here.
Yeah, and Piper's Katamari is just like lined up perfectly to get these islands right now.
It just bonks into the one that just couldn't quite grab it.
And that is it.
That is it. GG. Proving their...
GG's to Piper
Yeah.
with the 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, that's
41-17.
That's a very close Katamari time to Pika Pals.
Essentially like 4 minutes. Yeah, saved 4 minutes on their regular run. Like they put the time in. They knew what they needed to do.
Yeah, just they gotta clean up that end game a little bit. If they want to make it crazy good.
It just makes a scary game to play Piper in as the brackets continue.
Yeah, because this time is not far off from what Pika Pals got either.
No, Pika Pals got a 41-02.
Yeah.
Personally, if I'm one of them, that seems too close for comfort band.
Yeah, but as we continue in the brackets, a lot of the games are going to probably be that way, where like their times are going to be very close to each other.
Yeah, but Pika Pals probably ban Pilot Wings, unless both of them want to ban Pilot Wings, and then we just have two people who don't want to play Pilot Wings playing Pilot Wings. That would be fun.
The dream.
That is, in fact, the dream. That's what we want to see. Unfortunately, no game threes, but we did see every game that the racers wanted to play today.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested that we saw Katamari twice, and we ended up with two of this, like both matches having the exact same set of 3 games.
Yeah, I think the bans coming out from Piper were unexpected from Socrates, other than SMB2.
Yeah, SMB2 was not the shocker, but the
It was the LED. No.
No.
Socrates banned LADX.
Yeah,
Socrates.
Yeah, it was just. I feel like Socrates had better times in some of those games that he banned, but I guess wanted to leave Katamari up. Thought he was better in it.
And it just comes down to like, what game do you want to play? Like.
Yeah.
And Piper wanted to play Katamari.
I can say this from experience. Ramses, who won Season 2, somehow almost every single round, despite the fact that nobody had a shot of beating him in it. There were 3 games because there were 9, but he banned Kirby's Dream Course, which he never booted up, Mario Bros, and I think Mega Man 3, just every time because he didn't want to play them. And every single time, his 3 best games, everybody let them through because they just wanted to play those games. They didn't care about, they were going to lose in the other ones anyway because his time was really good. But they just wanted to play Ninja 5-0, they wanted to play Princess Remedy, they wanted to play Wipeout XL.
Yeah, it's going to come down to, and I think as the top 8 progresses, it's going to come down to not just strategy, but also like what the runners feel like playing. And if like the runners, like now that some of the games they've been completely removed from for weeks, others have been much more recent. So some of them they might have remembered a little more fondly, or like they might end up forced into playing a game and being like, oh, hey, this is not as bad as I remember it. I want to play this some more.
Yeah, it's going to be real curious. I think with just the way that this set of racers lined up, this was a foreseeable outcome. But I think that what is it that I'm thinking? I think tomorrow we're going to see some very, very spicy stuff.
Or the same 3 games again.
Well, I do know that there's going to be exactly 1 Pilot Wings ban. Well, at least one person has definitely put in their notes, I'm banning Pilot Wings.
I also did not know, looking at Piper's screen, I did not know that there was a dialogue from the king when you just stop moving in a stage and take a break. Yeah, like, huge GGs to Socrates and Piper, and also like Pika Pals and Pop-Tart Cat. Commiserations to Socrates and Pop-Tart Cat. That is the end of the line for them in this competition. They did really well though, like over the course of the last 18, 19 weeks or so.
I like how we just keep increasing the week amount.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, it was 15 like up until the race, and then you add 2. So okay, so 17 weeks. All right, I can math.
it was 3
I
weeks for the
can't math.
first game, and then lots 2 weeks every time after that. I can even go check to see on this website. It's easy when the first race was, or the first announcement was. A long time ago.
And Socrates does finish with a 46.19. Very respectable time.
Yeah, so that's actually gonna do it for day 1 of the top 8. We have 2 matches planned per day this weekend, and reason being is that in the case that these do go to game 3, it can take that adds another anywhere from 30 to 50 minutes depending on the game that gets chosen. So we're actually wrapping up sooner than I expected, but do you two have any closing thoughts on the matches today, or any thoughts on what's coming up tomorrow?
I'm excited for both the matches tomorrow. They are, I guess they're both technically closer than both of these. This was the 3 and 6 and the 1 and 8. Tomorrow is 2 and 7, which I think is a lot closer than that lets on, just because of where the points came from. And the 4 and 5, which that's gonna be a nice and spicy one. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
The spiciness, I think, actually comes from the fact that the higher seed actually has better times in the regular races than the higher seed.
Do you mean the lower seed?
That's what so the 7 seed has 4 better times versus LK's 3 better times.
Yeah.
And then you said
the higher seed has a better time than the higher seed.
Lower. Sorry. So I get confused when it's like lower actually means higher number or higher. Words and numbers, they don't work sometimes. But it'll be interesting to see, especially because we just saw Piper playing Katamari and just like something very unexpected. Like maybe we'll see another more unexpected bans tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I won't be surprised if LK isn't really feeling SMB2, or if JD bans Link's Awakening because he didn't play it, but maybe he learned the speed run and thinks he can beat LK's time pretty easily. But yeah, if I were to guess, we won't see SMB2 or Pilot Wings from that race, but LK's got some pretty good times for the rest of the games, but he'll probably ban Doom. So that leaves one other game, and I hope it's not Link's Awakening, because then we're gonna see the same 3 games again.
Yeah, so for those of you who are just joining us, we are wrapping up tomorrow. We are starting at noon again for the weekend. We will have LK 431 versus Just Defend as our first match tomorrow. You can check the brackets on speedseasons.com, which I've posted in the chat. And then we'll be following that matchup with 1UP40 versus St. Joe. We're actually it's gonna be really interesting to see how either of those matches go, because like Alpha and Strambles have given insight, like they're probably gonna be a bit closer than the matches that we saw today. We might see a game 3. We might even see different games other than, CTR, Skyblazer, and Katamari. But I'm certainly looking forward to that, and I hope you all are too. So definitely tune in tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time for another episode of Speed Seasons, as we figure out who else is going into our semifinals, who will be joining Pika Pals and Piper. Meanwhile, stick around in about 2.5 hours at 6 p.m. We do have a Juneteenth marathon from 6 p.m. to midnight Eastern. Both today and tomorrow, following up both episodes of Speed Seasons. That's going to be hosted by our very own Big John of Super Boss Brothers fame. So definitely take a break, go get lunch or dinner or maybe breakfast, depending on where you are, or when you wake up. And that's going to be it from us. We're going to just make our way out, and join us again at 6 p.m. today for the Juneteenth marathon by Big John. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good rest of your day.